that makes the students, as the creators, absolutely shine.
I feel that CPA has helped prepare me for the challenges that lie ahead
and given me a solid foundation for college.
Athletics at CPA has given me a chance to compete for all the right reasons and prepare me for future endeavors.
Christ Presbyterian Academy.
David Lipscomb Campus School is devoted to a
From Floyd Stadium in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, welcome into the Blue Cross Bowl of 2002. It's the 1A championship game between the CPA Lions and the Boyd Buchanan Buccaneers from Chattanooga. Hi, everybody. Willie Donick here with you, along with Pat Sperduto. Looking forward to an outstanding championship game. Pat, we got 5 games to go on this turf. Everybody's excited about crowning some state champions.
A little bit different. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun for these guys. This is a big game. Obviously, it's their whole. They'll be talking about this for years to come.
Let's look at some of the key players for both of these teams. Let's start with Boyd Buchanan. Their offense centers around Will Healy, a fine quarterback.
Well, Will Healy, he's gonna be the trigger man back there. He gets everything going. They run that spread. He'll find the targets. Does a great job of scrambling within the pocket and throwing on the run.
Now, looking at CPA, Chris Peak has been on fire during the playoffs. He's running wild.
Well, he runs so hard. That's what makes him so special. For a little guy to run that hard, at times he can put the ball on the ground. But he's done such a great job for David Pack and his offense, and you'll probably see a whole bunch of Chris Peak tonight.
Now let's go inside the huddle. It's brought to you by GMC. We'll take a look at some of the keys to the game. Starting off with Boyd Buchanan, Pat, they've got to protect Will Healy. They've got to throw the ball effectively.
Well, yeah, in that type of spread offense, you're going to throw the ball 30 times a game. You have to protect the quarterback, and conversely, obviously CPA is going to have to get after the quarterback.
Now looking at CPA's keys to the game, Pat, they have really done it with ball control, and they've won the battle at the line of scrimmage.
Well, when you want to play against a team that runs that spread offense that likes to throw, you want to get them out of rhythm. So if you control the football with Chris Peak and you pound them a little bit and you're running those 10 and 12 play drives, doesn't give that offense a chance to get in sync.
Of course, holding on the ball will be big for CPA as well. We're getting set for the opening kickoff. The 1A state championship is on the line from here in Murfreesboro. We're back with the opening kickoff right after this on UPN.
One microphone and no monitor.
The power of GMC. Nothing beats the power of zero down payment, 0 payments for 90 days, and 0% financing on every new GMC. Get any new GMC with 0 down payment, 0 payments for 90 days, and 0% financing. Upgrade to professional grade. See the pros at your local GMC dealers today.
Do you want your smile to look like $1 million? Then visit Dr. Latimer at Associated Dental. He provides innovative yet gentle services including cosmetic, orthodontic, and general care for both children and adults.
I bring my kids to Associated Dental Group. The hours are convenient and they make my kids feel comfortable.
As a student, I was worried about my insurance plan being accepted. At Associated Dental, I had no problem.
For Gentle Dental, call Associated Dental Group, 320-1805.
Meet Ashton, the official greeter at Tobacco Road Coffee and Smoke Shop. Premium handmade cigars and the South's largest humidor. Exclusive dealer for Don Malo and Bucanero. Briar Pipes by Nording and Dunhill. Estate Pipes. Hand-carved Meerschaum pipes. Gourmet coffees and espresso. Relax and enjoy Tobacco Road's big screen TV. You're always welcome. Tobacco Road Coffee and Smoke Shop, 15551 Old Hickory Boulevard, across from Nipper's Corner, next to Applebee's.
Introducing Jimmy. This outgoing bachelor will unearth cool new clues for Jeopardy.
Meet the new Jeopardy Clue Crew.
Weeknights at 6 on UPN 30.
It all comes down to this. After weeks of sweat and determination, Tennessee's best high school teams battle it out for the state championship title, the Blue Cross Bowl. And the only place to see it is on UPN 30. Watch David Lipscomb take on Mitchell Friday night at 7 on your home for TSSAA high school football action, UPN 30.
Blue Cross Bowl is brought to you by the Tennessee Secondary School Athletic Association and Blue Cross Blue Shield.
It is a beautiful day here at Floyd Stadium. It has been very, very cold and rainy here in Nashville over the last couple of days, but Pat, it has really cleared up, and you could not ask for anything better.
No, it's changed a whole bunch. Thank God, no more rain. I think we're going to have some fun. These guys, once they get running around, the temperature won't even make a difference to them.
And really, the wind is not a factor that much at all. So now let's go down to the field. Greg Pollard has a report on the field conditions.
Yeah, Willie and Pat, I tell you, today is going to be an outstanding day. We got nice, clear skies. The field is a little bit of a concern for both teams, obviously used to playing on natural grass surfaces, but today they'll have to take on this green monster here at Middle Tennessee State University. Now, it's not a terrible field condition as long as they have the proper footwear. So as long as these guys have on turf shoes, they'll be fine. It'll be interesting to see who can adjust to the field conditions early in this ball game. Back to you guys.
Greg, thanks a lot. Let's pause and hear a little bit of our national anthem. Boyd Buchanan has won the toss for this Blue Cross Bowl, the opening game of a 5-game weekend here in Murfreesboro. It should be very exciting. Of course, we'll be carrying all the games statewide here on the UPN network. Thank you very much for joining us. We're glad to have you with us. Tonight will be the 2A final. George Plasher and Whit Taylor will be on the call. And then tomorrow, starting at noon, the 3A, 4A, and 5A championship games. As we mentioned, Boyd Buchanan, Pat, wins the toss, but they decided to defer.
Right, they're going to give CPA the first shot at the football, which sometimes can be a great strategy, and that way you get it coming out the second half. Getting back to the turf briefly, these kids, this is probably the first time all these kids have played on turf, more than likely, other than the CPA kids that played in the championship game a few years back. So what they'll do is they'll try a whole bunch of different shoes, and there you have it. I'm sure during the warm-ups, these guys came out one set of shoes, maybe with a spare back in the locker room. And I'm sure you're going to find out they're going to find a comfort level, hopefully get right to it immediately.
Yeah, there are special turf shoes you can wear. Sometimes they prefer to wear regular tennis shoes.
Basketball sneakers.
Yeah.
The big men will usually wear basketball sneakers. Some of the little guys will even wear running shoes, believe it or not.
The officials for today's game, Todd Dunaway is the referee, Bill Lavick the umpire, Larry Dover the head linesman, Hugh Gentry the line judge, and Jimmy Stacy is the back judge. We're getting set to get underway here, and it'll be CPA receiving the ball, and kicking off for Boyd Buchanan is Will Healy. He does a little bit of everything for this team. He kicks field goals and extra points, as well as being a Mr. Football finalist as a quarterback.
Well, you're going to see a special kid in Will Healy. I think he's going to be the go-to guy tonight for Boyd Buchanan, and he'll be the trigger man.
Kick is on the way, and we are underway. Dan Williams will take it for CPA at the 6. State championship underway. He's got some room. Down the sideline he goes. And to midfield, across midfield, the CPA Lions, a great start to the championship.
A great setup, a great job by the wall in the second tier. They pin the outside guy and work their way back inside.
46 yards on the return for Dan Williams. And so the Lions will take over at the 49-yard line. There's Adam Etu, the quarterback for CPA.
An interesting story about Adam. We'll get into that in a little bit.
2 torn ACLs throughout his high school career. Took over as the quarterback in game number 4. They have not lost since. CPA is 11-3 on the year. Pat, as a lot of people in Nashville know, they lost their first 3 games.
And after that third game, I remember going down to the locker room. I did that game for one of the networks here. Went down to the locker room, and you hear Coach Pack and his conviction to his players, hey, we're going to be a good football team. And being up in the booth, I looked down at them. I knew they would be a better football team as the year went on. I didn't think they'd be this good, this quick, and now you're seeing the maturity.
David Pack, coach of the Lions, who won the state championship 2 years ago. A lot of the seniors on this club got a chance to get a taste of that as sophomores. And now we're getting set to get underway here. And the referees still have held up. Not sure what the problem is, Pat. It looks like a scoreboard clock problem.
That's what it is. The scoreboard kept running, and And now Coach Pack's telling his guys to huddle up. You know, it's good to get the jitters out, and that's what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to get the jitters out. Getting back to E2. E2 was a receiver week 3. He was their starting wide receiver. As you said, two torn ACLs. They didn't think he would play football again. He wanted to come back out and play. He was playing wide receiver, and all of a sudden, Coach Pack makes the change after week 3, and he found himself a pretty good quarterback in Adam E2.
Adam E2 is 72 of 141, throwing the football, 51%. 1,297 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. 4 rushing TDs to go along with that. As you mentioned, Pat, he was the wide receiver in the first 3 games. Travis Sykes was the quarterback. Now Sykes is their leading wide receiver.
And when I talked to Coach Pack before that game, way back in week 2, what he told me was this kid is going to do a good job of commanding the offense. He's very poised, but he couldn't really throw the football. With Adam E2, now you add an element of throwing the football, which in turn makes Chris Peak so effective running the football.
Now we're going to take a look at Robert Akins, the head coach of the Buccaneers. Interesting story with him. He is the headmaster and the president of Boyd Buchanan. Took over that school, really, in 1996. Couldn't find a football coach. They had made the playoffs 0 times, Pat. They'd had 1 winning record from 1977 through 1996. But when he takes over, all of a sudden they catch fire. They've been to a quarterfinal, they've been to 2 semifinals, and here they are in the final.
Well, they are the pride of Chattanooga. You know, Coach Akins did a great job of getting his team to this point. You know, you get a little bit of experience and you grow and mature as the years go on. And now with a kid like Will Healy leading the offense, you're going to see Mr. Football finalist, like you said. I'm excited to see him play. This will be the first time I get to see Will Healy live.
You know, Pat, it's interesting. I'm sure all the build-up to this game for these kids, they're anxious to get it going. Now you have the opening kickoff, you're underway, now you got to stop.
Yeah, it's like the old days, you know, hurry up and stop.
It appears that the scoreboard clock, they're having trouble resetting it or stopping it. 11:51 is on the clock right now. It appeared that they couldn't stop it for a while, but they're testing it right now. Hopefully we'll get you underway here very, very soon.
I want to go back to week 3 again with Coach Pack and what he did with this team. After week 3, he settled down. He told his team he was going to put a bunch of guys back in their natural position. For example, he has a fullback, Will Corder, who was the fullback the first 3 weeks. Last year he was a tight end. He moved him back to tight end. And in turn he took his tight end Hooper and moved him back to the fullback spot, getting everybody back in comfortable spots. And like I said, they matured as time went on. It's it's a credit to Coach Pack and his staff and Coach Akins and his staff.
It's really interesting when you talk to these coaches. We had a great time conversing with a lot of them earlier in the week, Pat. And one of the things that David Pack said about all those changing positions, he said, I don't know if that makes me look smart or dumb for having it the other way to start with.
You know what? It makes him look smart. Don't kid yourself. I mean, he really, really a sign of a good coach is having the convictions to admit when he's wrong. And he was wrong, so he made the changes and in turn has become very successful.
There's the Buccaneers. You see some really good numbers on them. They are just drilling people in the postseason. Here are their numbers offensively, Pat. And these are against playoff teams. 55 in the first game, 38, 34, and 39 for that average that you saw on the screen.
And don't kid yourself, the defense hasn't been too shabby either. If you take a look, they've given up 18, 0, 6, and 8 over the last 4 weeks.
So they are pounding people. Only 1 loss during the season. They're 13-1. It was to Ezel Harding, the defending state champion.
A team that runs the exact same offense, and I think a lot of what Coach Akins took might have come from what Ezel did also.
129-11, the combined 2002 records for these teams that are playing in the state finals. There are some undefeated teams. You'll see tomorrow in the 4A game, a rematch of last year's final, Maryville against Hillsborough, 2 undefeated teams. That is one that maybe is getting more attention than any of them.
That's going to be a war. I think, all these games are going to be great because what you're looking at is the best of the state in their respective divisions. So, like I said, I mean, when you go down the road 5, 6, 7 years, guys like Adam E2 and Scott Greenwood and Clinton Corder, they're going to be talking about, remember back in 2002 when we were in the Blue Cross Bowl and out in Murfreesboro, and and the stories will get bigger and bigger. It's just funny. It kind of makes me laugh when I think about, a quarterback, say he rushed for 30 yards, and then 5 years from now he all of a sudden rushed for 130 yards.
Yeah. But see, we've got the tape of this game.
That's right.
So we will have the
So
proof.
they're in trouble.
If anybody wants to check with us 10 years down the road,
That's
we'll have the truth.
The eye in the sky does not lie.
You can see the frustration now, and it's almost gotten to the point where you're laughing that we can't get this thing going. Here we are. We've come all this way. The crowd is ready to go. Look at these guys.
In the crowd, you got Andy McCullum out there shaking hands, the mayor of Murfreesboro.
See, this hat that this guy's got on is a very crucial thing you got to have.
Yeah, well, the necessities. What they did is, you know, all these families, they packed up probably at about 2 o'clock, and they said, okay, hats, got it, mittens, got it, you know, long johns, got it.
Weather is about 35 to 37 degrees. It'll probably go down a little bit tonight, but couldn't ask for anything better based on what we had the last couple of days, and the wind is not much of a factor. Looks like we are finally ready to go here.
Hopefully.
As soon as we say that, they'll probably delay it again. But now it looks like the referees are getting in position. It'll be 1st and 10
I
for
think
CPA.
I think right now the referee's just explaining to Robert Atkins what's going on. Look, we might keep, you know, and I don't exactly know what's going on. The scoreboard clock is running again. What they might be doing is running it back down, and now he's just telling the coach, look, we're running it down to the specified time, and then we'll go from there.
And they may have to keep it on the field before it's all
right.
over. That is the option that they have. So Dan Williams, the 46-yard kickoff return is all we've had so far. Now we're ready to get started. Chris Peak is the setback. 1,000-yard rusher for CPA. CPA dressed in purple. And the give is to Peak. And he is met right at the line of scrimmage, Jeremy Davis. And there's some good hard-hitting things to get the blood flowing right there, Pat. -1 on the play as we take a look at the starting lineups. The starting lineups are brought to you by Jeep today. Here's the backs and receivers. We mentioned Peak, over 1,000 yards in the year. Sykes, the guy that was playing quarterback, one of the leading receivers. Dan Williams, also a great threat. The offensive line has been outstanding. Hugh Latimer centers that. 2nd down and 11 for CPA. It's Peak again, running behind Will Hooper, the fullback, and he's wrestled down by William Nelson, who was the leading tackler for the season for the Buccaneers. He can do it on both sides of the ball, as we'll take a look now at the Buccaneer defense, whom, as Pat mentioned, has really been shutting some people down. Dan Moore, 12 sacks and 31 tackles for losses for Boyd Buchanan. The linebackers are the 3 leading tacklers. William Nelson just made the last one. And then in the secondary, 19 interceptions for these guys. Alec Jones has 7 interceptions. Get this, Pat, 6 block kicks.
Yeah, I saw that stat and opened my eyes.
So 3rd down and 7 for CPA. E2 gonna throw it for the first time. Looks over the middle, and he's got Sykes. First down catch at about the 35-yard line.
Here, you're gonna see it right here. This is a great example of what E2 does. He drops back, a little play action to his back, takes it back. Nice little stick route by Williams. Right here, he runs a stick route on the inside. Travis Sykes, and hits him on the inside route.
Alex Jones made the tackle.
Right, Jones has got him outside leverage. Sykes sits, which is a great job by the receiver. You sit in the zone.
First down at the 34-yard line for the Lions. E2 on the rollout, goes to the sideline. He's got Sykes again, and he's out of bounds at about the 25. Once again covered by Alex Jones. So again, 2 for 2 early on.
Little stop route by Sykes on the wide side. E2 sets his feet and delivers. Really, you know, when you look at what Sykes brings, being a former quarterback the first 3 weeks, it's going to help him a lot because he's going to get a feel for what the defense is running, whether it be man or zone.
So E2, you can see kind of that sidearm motion. Looks a little bit like a right-handed Ken Stabler for some of the older watchers. And David Pack was talking about how he's a baseball player. He's an infielder. He kind of throws like a third baseman almost. 9 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 1 for the Lions. Sykes has 2 catches. Here's Pete, up the middle, big hole. He's across the 15. First down carry, just about at the 10-yard line before he's brought down by Ryan Heaton.
You're going to see the block by Clinton Corder and the fullback Will Hooper right here. Blocked down by number 4, kick out by the fullback. That power play is a big play for CPA's offense, and Sykes does a good job of feeling the seam and cutting back into the middle of the field.
Good workman-like drive here for the Lions, and they'll have it 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. That's Clinton Corder, the tight end, in motion. E2 under center. Give us to Peak, cuts inside the 5-yard line. He's hit hard there, and gang tackle. But another good first down carry for Peak. Give him about 5 yards.
I want you to see the block by junior Will Hooper, the fullback. A great job. You take a look right here. He comes right up, squeezes down that end, and the tailback does a great job of cutting off Chris Peak. That's why Chris Peak had so many yards. He does a good job of feeling the blocks in front of him. He reads it, makes the left-sided cut, and turns it upfield.
The offensive line has been the key to the success for CPA in their run to this championship game. 2nd down and 5 at the 6. Once again, it's Peak. And he is into the end zone. Chris Peak.
Great play.
For the first score of the game.
Hey, there is nothing fancy about what they just did. They took it down methodically, couple passes, half dozen runs, big plays. Same play they ran a little bit earlier. Fullback leads through the hole. The tight end, Quarter blocks down. Look at the block by Quarter, sealing it, turns it upfield. That's how they've got here.
CPA is winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. 5 carries for 28 yards and a touchdown for Pete. Extra point is up, and it is good for John Price. And CPA has a 7-0 lead early on in the first quarter.
I'm going to tell you again, watch Quarter. Quarter comes down, does a great job of sealing everything. Kick out block by the fullback, and Chris Peak's got to walk into the end zone. Now, there's two great things that happen here for CPA. Number one, you drive the football down, you get the first score in the game. The second thing is you have their offense now with a little bit of pressure on them, number one. And number two, they've been standing on the sidelines, getting a little bit colder.
I would like to tell you exactly how much time is left. It is now showing 8:47. I'm guessing that's accurate, Pat, but it's moving around a lot. They still may be having some trouble with the scoreboard clock, so they're keeping it down in the field just to be certain. But a great opening drive and a time-consuming drive, Pat. One of the things I was looking at, their time of possession for the season, they had the ball 383 minutes to their opponent's 288. So that's exactly what they want to do.
Absolutely, it's ball control. It's a great game plan. This is David Pack's forte. He always does a good job. Him and Paul Wade. Paul Wade's his #1 assistant. They do a great job of game planning to their opponent, and they've game planned to the spread offense right here. But I'm excited to take a look at our man, Mr. Healy.
John Price will kick it off for CPA. Back deep is Drew Akins, number 11. He's the coach's son, as you might have heard the name. Kick is on the way, and it will be Akins from the 11. Heads left, gets out to about the 29-yard line. He's tackled there by Jess Miller. And this will be our first look at Will Healy. 20 touchdown passes, only 5 interceptions.
I'm going to tell you, that's my #1 stat. When I look for a good quarterback, I take touchdowns to interceptions. How many times does he put the ball in the end zone compared to how many times does he give it up? That's the #1 stat. And when you're 4-1, you're a good quarterback.
And on top of that, 10 touchdowns rushing. First down play from the 30. Healy gives to his big fullback, William Nelson. 953 yards on the season. Let's go down to the field. Greg Pollard has a report on the scoreboard clock.
Yeah, actually, Willie, right now, they're just keeping the time on the field because the clock on the scoreboard is not accurate. It continues to roll, and they're having some difficulties getting it to operate properly, so they're just keeping the time on the field right now.
5 yards for William Nelson on first down.
And usually the guy that does that is the back judge, the guy in the deepest part of the defensive backfield.
Fumble on second down. Ball is loose. At about the 39, CPA thinks they have it, and they do.
Uh-oh.
Big turnover there. Will Healy never had the snap.
And again, that might be due to the dew on the field. There's a little residue or a little leftover water on the field, and it might make the ball just a little bit slippery and put the ball on the ground right there.
Let's take a look at the play here. Healy does not ever have it.
No, he knows it's on. He knows it's down right now, and that's a bad feeling for a quarterback, and it's an even worse feeling for a center is when the play's stopping and you know, uh-oh, snap didn't get there.
So here's a big opportunity for CPA. Empty backfield. And here's the reverse. They give it to the sophomore, Luke Landers, trying to pick his way, and he's thrown down by Alex Jones.
Nice speed sweep right there, and Alex Jones does a great job. As a cornerback, that's the first thing he teaches. Turn it back in. That's where all your friends are. Alex Jones and Dan Williams, or Alex Jones and our man Sykes are going to have themselves a pretty good battle tonight. You take a look here. He's trying to get to the outside, They do a good job. Hey, turn him back in. That's where all our buddies are.
First carry for Luke Landers, who had 8.5 yards per carry on the year, backing up Chris Peak. So a good 1-2 punch. Landers, a sophomore, a little more shifty. Peak, a little more straight power. Peak's back in there now on second down and 7. E2 gives to Peak. Cuts it back inside. He's hit hard right there.
He might have enough for a first down. He's going to be about a half a yard short, but that's a great little run right there.
So let's see where they mark it. Just inside the 30. It appears they've got to get to the 29.
Yeah, I think they're about a half a yard short.
They're going to say 3rd and 1.
And this is, this is a big play right here. If you're Boyd Buchanan, you need this play. You need somehow to get off the football, get underneath their big lineman. Now, CPA's got a great line. Don't kid yourself. They've been getting off the football and driving real well.
3rd and short. Uh-oh, whistle blows. And let's see what we got. Play clock is at 0 right now.
They can't have that blowhorn over here, can they?
Okay, what do we got? Referees conferring. Let's see what Todd Dunaway has to say here. I thought I heard David Pack say something about a blowhorn in the stands on the opposite side.
Right. Okay, well, they're not dealing with it anymore because they're just going to keep going. You got to love Coach Pack.
If you hear the air horn, you know that that guy wasn't phased in the stands.
No.
Either that or he's hiding. So 3rd and 1, we'll try it again. Chris Peak lines up deep in the backfield as the lone setback. Quarterback sneak for E2, and he's got it very easily. You can see right now they're winning the battle up front.
They're big men up front. I'm going to tell you right now, this kid's one of my favorite players. I've watched him the last 2 years. Number 62 right there in the middle of our camera. It's Scott Greenwood. Right there, you look at the big 3 in the middle. Number 61, Hugh Latimer. Number 62, Scott Greenwood. Number 50, Ben Cost. Those 3 guys right there get such movement, and you're going to see Scott Greenwood should have been a finalist for Mr. Football, in my opinion.
So 1st and 10 for the Lions. Already up 7-0. Here's a double reverse, back to Peak. Loses his footing for a moment, now turns on the Jets. Got one man to beat inside the 10. First down, CPA.
That's a great looking play. Misdirection. Here you go. You've been pounding them. You've been opening holes. You've been getting after them. Now you set Peak outside wide. You give an inside handoff back to Peak coming on a counter. I mean, you got the defense flowing one way. They're trying to be aggressive. You can't be aggressive when you got something like that and a little broken ankle for number 18.
Ryan Hedden does make the tackle. We'll check on his ankles as well. 7 carries and 54 yards already for Chris Peak and the touchdown. CPA getting anything they want right now on offense. 1st and goal here in the 1st quarter. Peak again. Crushed right there.
Oh, what a hit. Holy moly.
William Nelson.
Hey, William Nelson said, hey, enough of this. I'm putting a stop to this right now. And, great read. You look at a linebacker. They teach linebackers you're reading the guard. Right here, he reads the guard. The guard blocks down. He says, I'm coming. And right there, he lays it up. Good job of form tackling, wrap up, and, hey, you never know.
One thing to watch for with Chris Peak. He has had all kinds of yards, but he will fumble the last couple of weeks.
But it's, and you can't knock him. It's because he runs so hard. At times, when a guy runs that hard, they're flailing away, and a lot of times you can lose control of the football.
So you have to be watching for Boyd Buchanan to see if they try to strip, because I'm sure they're aware of the scouting report. 44 team fumbles for the Lions. Maybe their one weakness. There's a pitch to
nice
Peak.
Counter. Great
misdirection, but a great tackle in the backfield. Jeremy Davis.
I'm going to tell you, Jeremy Davis said no. What he did is he had no bite to the counter. They fake the counter to the left, and they bring it back to the right. Take a look right here. Peak takes it. Counter waits for his big men to get out in front, but Jeremy Davis just keeps penetrating. That's a great job right there for -5.
3rd and goal coming up now from the 12-yard line for the Lions. E2 getting the play.
Right now, if you're David Pack, you're probably telling your guys, hey, take it down to the last second. If you want to talk about, he's going to call a timeout. He's going to bring Adam over. He might even bring the whole offense over and say, hey, look, this is what we're going to do. This is what we can do. Take a look. This is what they're running in the secondary.
So we'll take a break with the Lions. They lead it 7-0. Late in the 1st quarter, CPA in the driver's seat. The wide out is Dan Williams on the near side. Sykes in the slot. Now Williams in motion. E2 looking to throw.
One-man route.
Lobs it into the end zone. It's over Sykes' head and incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down and goal. And Pat, They do have a strong field goal kicker in John Price, and they're going to go for 3.
It's great coverage by Alex Jones. You watch, he does a great job. It's a one-man route. It's either Dan Williams or nobody. Or I think it was Travis Sykes or nobody. It's a one-man route. He runs a corner, and Alex Jones does a great job just cutting him off.
It'll be a 29-yarder for John Price. He was 8 of 14 on field goals during the season. Kick is up. It's on the way, and it is good.
Nice.
Soft touch, high archer, and CPA.
Kind of like your jump
advantage.
shot.
That's exactly right, Pat. Price hits. It's 10-0 Lions after the turnover, and the Buccaneers will have to play uphill.
Nashville's 3 great holiday places. Hickory Hollow Mall, Cool Springs Gallery.
Throughout the play.
And we talked about it in the pregame. Keep the ball away from Will Healy and that potent offense they have across the field.
So now Price will kick off. And it's a line drive kick. And this is going to be taken by Alex Jones. Jones running wide, trying to get around the end. He's across the 30, turns the corner, and is taken down inside the 40-yard line. Fans look like they wanted a face mask there. But pretty good field position for Boyd Buchanan. Will Butler makes the tackle for the Lions.
Right here, it might have been a little extracurricular activities here at the end of this right here. Oh, that could be a face mask last time I checked.
Referees missed that one, clearly.
And that's what Alex Jones is saying. He gets up right away. You know, when you've had your face mask pulled, you know right away.
So they'll mark it at the 37. And Will Healy will take over with the offense. Option play, pitches it out to Nelson. And Nelson is met in the backfield by Brandon Fisher.
Nice play. You look at the way CPA just defended that play.
So Fisher, the sophomore, makes the tackle as we take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Jeep. There's the offensive line for Boyd Buchanan. A couple of guys that play on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Now on to the offensive backs. And we'll take a look at the backs in a moment. Will Healy playing with the spread offense. 3 wide receivers on 2nd and 11 after the loss of 1. Healy rolls out. Looks down the field. Throws over the head of Alex Jones. As you see, CPA likes to drop a lot of people into the secondary. And here's the backs for the Buccaneers of Boyd Buchanan. As we mentioned, they like to run a lot of 3 wide receiver sets.
Right. And the key man in that group is going to be Alex Jones. He's a speedster, has had a lot of catches, and Will Nelson's going to have to keep that defensive CPA honest.
Jones, with 40 receptions and 703 yards, is the top receiver for Will Healy, who we mentioned, 20 touchdown passes and 10 rushing touchdowns. There is Jones. He is the playmaker for Boyd Buchanan. 3rd and long now for the Bucs. Healy rolling out. Throws over the middle, and it's caught.
And that's one of the things we talked about.
Ryan Heading inside the 35-yard line and a tackle by Brandon Fisher.
That's what we talked about in the pregame with Healy. Healy does such a good job of scrambling within the pocket. I was just about to get through and say that CPA has done a good job of keeping their responsibilities, and they do a good job here of keeping their responsibilities. Will Healy just creates on the run very well.
That's one thing that David Back was very concerned about in watching Boyd Buchanan. He thinks that Healy can make something out of nothing. He can run around, and he can run and also throw on the run. So 1st down into Lion territory. Here's Nelson trying to pile drive his way. He looks like the high school version of Ironhead Hayward.
He's a big horse now, and he did such a good job on defense when he was over there.
Speaking of defense, let's take a look at the Jeep CPA defense. Here's the defensive line. Hugh Latimer anchors it at nose guard. Greenwood on the defensive tackle. There's your linebackers. Ben Weber does not play much offense, is a key to the defense. And the secondary this year has 22 interceptions. Travis Sykes, watch him as well, dropping back into coverage. Here's the option pitch to Nelson on 2nd down. Inside the 25 and wrestled down out of bounds for a 1st down.
They ran that option play to the right side earlier and really did a good job of defending it. Hooper took the quarterback and the corner took the pitch man. This time they run it to the left side. Now they go to, nobody takes the quarterback, which gives them a little time to lean. Indecision by the edge guy, the outside linebacker, and lo and behold, 10 yards later.
Levi Crabtree makes the tackle. There's Nelson early on. That was his best carry there. And Boyd Buchanan trying to answer after CPA has gone up 10-0.
This is a must right here for Boyd.
Healy hands to Nelson again. He's piled up and driven backward. It's Will Hooper pushing his man back into the pile and just nowhere to go for Nelson.
I'm going to tell you right now, Greenwood and Hooper do such a great job of controlling that edge right there. What they tried to do is they tried to run the same play that CPA had been running earlier, where the tight end blocks down, the fullback kicks out. There was nothing there.
Second down and 10 yards. No gain on the play for Nelson, who now has 5 carries for 15 yards. Healy, play action. Rolling, looks into the end zone, throws, and it's over everybody's head. Not a catchable ball there. He's looking for Drew Akins.
Right, go long, throw long. I can't knock Will Healy for that. That's a good decision by the quarterback right there. Great job by CPA in their zone defense right there. The safeties take the flats. They call it an invert with it. Safeties go to the flats, and the corners drop back and take the deep halves.
Third down and 10 coming up, and this is a big third down conversion here, as we mentioned. One thing to note, Boyd Buchanan does not have a great kicking game. Will Healy is the kicker, but he only kicked 4 field goals out of 11 attempts this year, so they would love to pick up this first down. Healy, straight drop.
He's got it.
Got a man, Alex Jones, leaping catch at the 5-yard line. Great play.
Right, and you go into that, it goes back to their zone. They run this zone, okay, where the safeties are taking the flats, the corner. Now, what happens in that situation, your receiver, you hope to get that hole. That hole is between the sideline and the outside corner who has that deep half, and that's exactly where Jones goes. He runs that corner route, finds the hole, and Healy hits him right in the hole.
That was a missile.
And that's a tough throw. That's a tough throw for a high school kid.
First and goal for the Buccaneers. Late here in the first quarter, trailing 10-0. Healy to Nelson, straight ahead. Now veers to the outside. Gang tackled. Will Hooper had his ankle. Chris Peak was in the middle of the pile.
I'm going to tell you, Peak, Fisher, and Hooper do their job. All they have to do, everybody has a responsibility, and that's what I like so much about what Coach Pack teaches. Discipline amongst his team. They do a great job here. One has outside leverage, the cornerback turns it in this case it's the safety because they're running that invert. Safety turns it in, and in comes all the flow from inside out.
So it appears that the clock now has been fixed, and that's going to run down to the end of the quarter. And with our score, CPA 10, Boyd Buchanan nothing. The Buccaneers are knocking on the door. We've got ourselves a good offensive game going on so far here at Floyd Stadium.
Team Binkley of ERA Cornerstone Realty congratulating
who just missed a 21-yard field goal after leading his team down the field. Right. So CPA with the ball and a 10-point lead. Chris Peak is the setback. He's been the hot man. Had a 5-yard touchdown run to get the scoring started. And here he comes again. Good first down carry, about 5 yards to the 25-yard line. Let's go down to the field. Greg Pollard is standing by.
Yeah, Willie, with CPA being up by 10 points right now, you'd like to think it's because they're just playing great, but maybe it has something to do with the great heaters they brought along. They're well prepared for the frigid temperatures of today. So right now, let's take a little shot at this and just see what they got going here. And Boyd Buchanan right now is they don't have the heater, so maybe they're dealing with this conditions a little bit different right now.
I noticed, Greg, you're standing pretty close to the heater.
That's
now.
right. He's getting as close as he can.
Willie, I'm a smart man, I'll tell you.
Boyd Buchanan going with the Bud Grant approach. No
That's
heaters
right.
on the sideline back in the Minnesota Vikings days. Here's Peak again.
We don't need no stinky heaters.
Peak is met right at the line of scrimmage, maybe a little bit behind.
Again, great penetration. This time by number 78, Charles Purrier.
There's Purrier just waiting for Chris Peak, getting him low.
Great penetration. You take a look at that. That's the key right now. To avoid all this motion by the lineman, you got to get penetration. And right there's great penetration by Purrier.
So 3rd down and 6 coming up. CPA has not been forced into the 3rd down very often. Let's see what Adam Etu's got in store. He's 2 for 3 in the air so far. Gonna throw. Etu. Screen pass to Hooper, and it falls short. So Boyd Buchanan looks like they'll get the ball back.
Well, the way to run an effective screen is you block 1-1000, 2-1000, and then you let those big men go. You don't let them 1-1000. Get rid of it.
Dan Moore blew up that play.
He just came. I mean, somebody's got to at least lay a glove on him. You know, I remember back in the old days, you know, just lay a glove on him. Just slow him down. Don't let him run free. And E2's got to keep drifting. That's the other thing. Quarterback's got to keep drifting back.
So Dan Williams will punt it. for the Lions, averaged 30.8 yards per punt. Rushes on. Williams gets it away. Akins on the return right at the 50. And pretty good coverage there.
But good field position right here for Boyd Buchanan. This is what they need. You know, it's a shame they don't get any points out of that last drive. They need to sustain a drive right here, and they need, more importantly than sustaining a drive, get points on the board. Look for them to go for wide receiver sets a little bit more in this drive, I think.
The Buccaneers have got to be happy. Their defense picked up the pace a little bit. They were very discouraged after getting no points, but they come right back. 27-yard punt for Williams and a 5-yard return. The tackle was made by Ben Weber. So 1st and 10 for the Buccaneers at the 43-yard line. Good field position. Quick throw to the outside to Akins. Piles it forward on the wide receiver screen.
That's
out in front was Hedden on the block.
That's a good call. And you're going to take a look right here. This is a nice little play. Good play to start a drive. Good block by number 18. The slot man Hedden does a good job of going in there. Pick up 6 yards. Hey, manageable 2nd down, 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5.
We'll call it 2nd and 5. Will Healy from the 38-yard line. Healy fakes to the fullback. Looks to run it back towards the opposite side. Now coming back this way. Somehow you get a couple yards out of that.
I'm going to tell you right now. Go ahead.
Clinton Quarter picks up the tackle.
I'm going to tell you, you really got to respect what CPA is doing defensively. They know their role. Listen, I got the quarterback. I remember, you go back into the days when you defend the option, the defensive end has the quarterback, and all you do is you run full speed and you just hit him. Don't play both.
Coming up on the 9-minute mark here in the first half, CPA has things going their way, but Boyd Buchanan has had some good field position here. 3rd down coming up here, and this is a big one. Healy to throw. Being rushed from the outside, gets away from Jess Miller. Throws down the field, flag on the play as the pass goes over the head of Ryan Hedden.
It looks like a spot where there would be a hold if I were a betting man.
Number 9, Jess Miller, had a good pass rush on. Let's see what the call is from Todd Dunaway.
Nope, face mask.
Face mask on CPA, and here's a big one.
And you take a look, they run a zone blitz where they bring the linebackers up in the hold and they drop the defensive lineman right here. You're going to see, here come the big men, gets a piece of the face mask. Hey, this kid Healy, I like what I see in him. He's made a bunch of big throws, bunch of big plays. He's not afraid of putting the team on his back.
So it's only a 5-yarder, but the big play results in a 1st down.
Exactly.
For the Buccaneers. So they get a break.
I mean, it's just, hey, now remember, 5 years from now, Healy's going to talk about that 5-yard completion he had to get the 1st down.
That's right. Remember, we have the tape.
That's right.
1st down for the Bucs. 32-yard line, trailing by 10. Straight drop for Healy. Dancing around, Doug Flutie style. Throws to the outside, and it's off the hand of the intended receiver, Henry Woodard.
There's good and bad in that.
Brandon Fisher had the coverage. As CPA, Pat, they like to drop 7, 8 guys into the defensive secondary, and they face some good passing offenses.
And what they're doing is they're not giving away who's coming. They'll bring in 3 maybe from the right side, or they'll bring in 4 from, bring in an extra linebacker and drop a lineman. So they're doing a real good job of playing that zone defense.
CPA knocked off 3 straight undefeated teams to get here. And the last 2 ran spread offenses similar to Chattanooga's. Now here's Boyd Buchanan up the middle. Matt Pearden, the sophomore, the change of pace running back with a big run on 1st down. He's inside the 5-yard line. Dan Williams brings him down. 1st and goal for the Buccaneers. 26 yards on the play.
Let me tell you, Robert Aiken does a great job of calling a play, changing it up. You've been throwing, now you run that draw, and that draw works big, especially when a team is dropping. If you're backpedaling, now all of a sudden you got to reset those feet and come on back. Right here, these guys are trying to drop to defend the pass. Bad angles, 26 yards later, 1st and goal.
1st and goal. Matt Pearden averaging 8 yards a carry as a sophomore. As the change of pace to William Nelson. Got a big one there. They give it to him again. He's swallowed up there at the 5-yard line.
Right.
Not much happening on that play. Clinton Quarter makes the tackle.
And here's where CPA can play even better because they have less area to defend. If you're dropping now, you're dropping in a specific 5, 6, 7-yard box as opposed to dropping in the whole field behind you.
So we'll see if Boyd Buchanan is able to adjust.
I think this is big. I told you, they have to come away with points. This would be disheartening if you don't come away with 7 here.
This is where their drive stalled the last time they had the ball. Clock running. There's Hedden in motion. Healy on the keeper. Fumbles the football, and CPA's got it again. Clinton Quarter picks up the fumble, and the Lions take over, and they've stopped him again.
It comes back to what I said, know your job, and that's what you have right here. Everybody's doing their job just the way they're supposed to. If I'm Will Healy, I'm going to keep the football too. He takes it down the line of scrimmage. Watch the defensive end. He knows he's got the quarterback. Right there, he takes him. Brandon Fisher does a good job. He's got the back. You're going to go to the back no matter what. You do your job first.
Looked like he made the decision to pitch a little too late. He was swallowed up, probably should have eaten the football.
Right.
He was trying to make the pitch to Matt Pearden, but instead, CPA takes over at their own 5. They lead it 10-0. Adam E2 on the keeper. Around the end he goes. He's across the 10 and knocked out of bounds.
Not E2's forte.
He doesn't run that much. I thought you were going to say E2 Brute. Reading some Julius Caesar here, but Adam E2, not a great runner, as you mentioned earlier. 2 torn ACLs. What a great story he is.
It is. I mean, that's a story of courage. No question. I mean, and you know the funny thing, Coach Pack talking to him earlier in the week, he said, you know, you look at a guy like that and you're almost like, you know, don't do it. You don't put yourself through it again. And you know what? The kid said he had good friends on the team and he wanted to stick it out for them.
6 yards on first down for E2. In motion comes Dan Williams. CPA in purple. They give it to Chris Peak. Peak up the middle, has the first down. Stopped at about the 19-yard line. Tackled by Ryan Hedden.
Now, right now, if you're Coach Pack, you're thinking, okay, let's get a nice 95-yard drive, go into the halftime, up without Boyd Buchanan getting the football again. If you can do that, you'll pretty much have control of this game for the rest of the way.
8 yards for Chris Peak on that one. And there you see the offense. Not much of a difference on total yards.
But go up to the scoreboard now, Willie.
I see a difference there.
There you go.
Boyd Buchanan moving the ball well between the 20s, but they haven't finished their drives. CPA gets to Luke Landers this time. Landers runs out of room, and he is absolutely crushed by Tyler Miller.
I'm going to talk a little bit about Boyd Buchanan's defense now. They know they have to be aggressive, and they have to now start stepping up into the holes, getting more penetration, which will loosen up the secondary, which in turn, don't be surprised if E2 puts the ball in the air.
No gain on the play. Second down and 10. 6:25 to go here in the second quarter. If you're just joining us, CPA took the opening drive, went down and scored. A 5-yard run by Chris Peak. Then a fumble from the second play of scrimmage, from Boyd Buchanan, resulted in a field goal for CPA. That's where we stand now, 10-0. Screenplay being set up. It is caught by Dan Williams. I don't know how he picked that ball out of the air.
Let me tell you right now, that's a dangerous pass. I thought they'd go to the air, but I thought they'd go down the field, thinking that now because Boyd Buchanan is being so aggressive, he goes back to the screen. You look at it, he again, this time he drifts over to his right, though, to try to set up a screen back to Dan Williams on the left side.
I'm sure David Pack, his heart stopped as that ball was fluttering through the air, thrown across the body like that. Dan Williams did a good job of pulling it out of traffic.
That would be heartbreaking to give up an interception for a touchdown because your defense has played so well.
3rd and 8 from the 21. 3 wide receivers to the near side. E2 rolling that way. Loops it down the field, over everybody's head, flag on the play. And if this goes against CPA, no doubt, Boyd Buchanan will decline.
That looked like a hold, and that's exactly what you had there. You had 2 guys grabbing one. Right now, I want to talk a little bit about the game plan of Coach Pack. You look at what he's done, and his staff, I mean, he has an incredible football staff, too. He's got Paul Wade, who's been with them forever, and he's got a guy that I think is one of the better head coaches in high school football, and Tom Moore, who was with Brentwood Academy last year. A great football coach. Unfortunately, he leaves Brentwood Academy, but he comes here and gets another shot at the state championship with CPA.
So 4th down coming up. CPA will go into punt formation. And back deep once again is Chris Akins, the return man, make it Drew Akins.
Son of the coach.
Dan Williams getting ready to punt. Rushes on. Williams gets an end-over-end kick, gets a good bounce. Akins takes it on a hop. Flag on the return as Akins is swallowed up at about midfield. Let's check the flag as Joseph Patton made the tackle for CPA. 31 yards on the bouncing punt. And this one will go against the Buccaneers.
Right, so it's going to give them a little bit tougher field position, but they cannot go into this half without a score. I mean, Coach Akins has done a great job of getting his guys here. Right now, he's going to settle them down, hopefully deliver a drive right here. Will Healy, you know, he's all that he was pumped up to be. I think he's that good of a football player. He's made a lot of tough throws. I've seen him make the tough throws that the high school guys usually can't make, and now he's going to have to lead this team and take them down the field and put some points.
So a 10-yard penalty will back up Boyd Buchanan as they start the drive on the 39. We'll take a break. 10-0 Lions late in the first half.
You got D, come on now.
Everybody's got a little Jeep.
Points on the board.
Healy on the drop. Throws down the middle, got a man. It's caught. Henry Woodard inside the 20-yard line. Big play for the Buccaneers, and they'll be threatening again. Levi Crabtree on the tackle.
I'm going to tell you right here, great play action. You know, he feeds it right into the fullback's belly, pulls it back, drops back, finds it. Another great throw. It goes back to what I told you earlier. He's made some great throws. He threw that out route earlier. He threw a nice little screen pass one step, and this time throwing that deep ball, just dropping it right down the chimney.
Henry Woodard, 10th catch of the year, came in with 9 catches for 216 yards, so he's made some big plays. First down, they give it to the fullback Henley. Straight up the middle, keeping the defense honest, fights his way for about 3 yards.
Right, and this time, really, I mean, you look at it, now they're starting to change the plays, mix it up a little bit more. Don't throw it every single down. Keep them honest with the run.
Ben Weber making the tackle. About 4 minutes to go now here in the first half. Boyd Buchanan still trying to get back in this game. They've had a lot of things go wrong here in the first half, but a score here would give them a big lift.
No question.
2 wide receivers to the far side. Alex Jones to the near side in the slot. He throws, it's tipped. Jess Miller got a hand on it.
Right.
The defensive end dropping back into cover.
And it goes back to what I said. They're running zone stuff. They're not really bringing the right people. You take a look here. This time the defensive end, outside linebacker drops off, does a good job. Now that's a throw. Will Healy, I'm sorry. You've done a great job all night. That's a throw I don't advise you to make. You got coverage inside out, and you got the outside linebacker dropping to the flat. Tough throw. You can't make that. I can't make that. Steve McNair can't make that.
Brandon Fisher had pretty good coverage on the receiver as well on the sideline. Timeout called by Boyd Buchanan. They've got a big third down coming up, Pat. They need a big play.
This is important. You take a look right now. They're going to settle. I think this is 2-down territory without question. You're going to go for it on third down. You might want to try to pick up a chunk, some type of combination route where you have a deep read and then a short read.
So we'll see what we've got. Let's take a look at some stats for Will Healy. He's 4 for 9, but for 87 yards. He's got a couple of big plays. He had the 34-yarder a minute ago to Matt Pearden, or rather to Henry Woodard. He also has the big play earlier on to Ryan Hidden for 30 yards. So he's hit some big plays.
I mean, Healy was a finalist for Mr. Football for a reason. You know, he's really made a lot of good throws and a lot of good reads. Coach Akins has done a great job. You look at what he's done, starting to mix it up now a little bit more, trying to get into a groove. Coach Pack on the other side's done a good job, got a couple good drives, jumped on him early. I'm a believer in that. Anytime you can jump on a team early and take command early in the game, that's a great feeling. But you don't want to go into cruise control because it can always come back and bite you.
I'm sure Boyd Buchanan would like to get a little more consistency with their ground game. Looking at their balance, Pat, coming into the game, 185 yards per game rushing, 174 on the average passing. But so far they've been a little heavy towards the pass.
I think they've been more pass-oriented. You look down at the heater story a little bit earlier, see all the guys that don't really get a lot of reps, they find that heater as quick as possible.
They are bunched up on that sideline. Matt Pearden is the tailback right now on 3rd down and 8. Healy looking, he's in trouble, and he is thrown down. Big sack, Scott Greenwood for the Lions.
I told you earlier, Scott Greenwood should have been a finalist for Mr. Football and 1A lineman. He is that good of a football player. Coach Pack and I talked earlier in the week, and he told me, he said, this guy's all that. And I said, hey, I've seen him for 2 years. You don't have to sell him to me. Does a great job, gets off the block, keeps penetration, keeps leverage, wraps up and holds on.
So that'll bring up 4th down. And long, call it about 16. From the 27-yard line. They will not attempt the field goal this time. They'll go for it. Scott Greenwood getting the big sack. And so now it'll take a big play for the Buccaneers. Healy from the shotgun. Under the rush. Throws to the sideline. Alex Jones has it. He'll need to make some room. and he's knocked out of bounds short of the first down. So CPA will take over at about the 15-yard line. Will Hooper makes the tackle.
Yeah, that's tough right now. If you're CPA, you're going to grind them a little bit. You're not going to take a chance at giving up the football. It's a great job by CPA. They bend again, but they don't break. You know the old adage, bend but don't break? They stuck to it.
They have really locked down in the red zone.
Right.
And that is the third trip that Boyd Buchanan is down in plus territory, good scoring territory, and they have no points.
Right, and that's heartbreaking. As a coach, you go into the red zone 3 times on the big field, you got to get points.
So CPA has it. Their offense has sputtered a bit after a great early start. Chris Peak has been the hot guy, 12 carries for 61 yards. He split out in the slot to the left right now. Will Hooper, the only man in the backfield. E2 rolling, throws, got a man wide open. Dan Williams behind the defense. It's now a foot race. He's to the 30. He's being chased by Hedden. He won't catch him. Touchdown, Dan Williams.
So much for the coaching observation by me. Run the ball out and take it in and get up 10-0 and go into the house nice and quiet. Coach Pack says we're going for the jugular.
84 yards for Dan Williams.
Wow. You take a look here. This is a blown coverage. No question a blown coverage. Right there, number 18. I hate to point him out, but that's Ryan Hedden. He probably had deep half, and he knows he had deep half because you see how fast he's running to catch up to him, try to get another play out of the deal.
Dan Williams had a big year, 19 yards per catch coming in, and it'll go up after that one. 84 yards. Here's Price's extra point, and it is good. 17-0. The Lions take a big lead.
That's a big one right there. You take a look. Dan Williams knows he's behind the coverage. He throttles down. E2 does a good job just getting it out there. Go long, throw long. Lay it out there, big man. And he does. Dan Williams takes it, and E2 here drops back. Look at him. He has to reverse his feet, and he throws it up there. Does a nice job. That's really a tough pass, but it goes back to what you said. Little sidearm, delivers it, drops it in. Williams is off to the races. He's just hoping that he doesn't run out of steam. Great job, Coach Pack again, and his staff does a good job.
There you see the red-hot CPA Lions. As we mentioned, 3 straight undefeated teams that they beat getting here. Collinwood on the road. Ezel Harding, the defending state champions who had won 29 in a row, beat them on the road. And then they went to Jackson, Tennessee out west and beat USJ, a team that had beaten them earlier in the season. Shut them out 14-0. So now Dan Williams got some gaudy stats. 2 catches, 118 yards.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Touchdown.
Hey, 5 years from now, it's going to be, hey, I had 2 catches, 12 catches, 365 yards. I had a 90-yard touchdown, I swear. We got the video, though, right?
That is correct. 2:38 to go in the second. So now Boyd Buchanan's going to have to play some catch-up. They're not used to that. They have rolled through everybody in the playoffs so far. 55-18, they beat Watertown. 38-0 shutout of Friendship Christian nearby here. Gordonsville, they beat 34-6 on the road.
They're not used to being 39-8. They're really not used to being behind at all.
Here's Hedden, the up man, taking the kickoff. Sidesteps one tackler. Now gets across the 40. Nice little run back. And once again, it'll be pretty good field position for the Buccaneers.
You know, you think, I'm trying to get into Coach Atkins' head right now and imagining what he's got to be thinking about right this second. He's got to be thinking, okay, we need a score. I mean, we can't go in 17-zip. I mean, our guys have been down there 3 times. We visited the Promised Land thrice with no points.
Thrice is correct. Now here comes Healy from the shotgun here. 2 timeouts left for Boyd Buchanan. Healy on the fake. Keeps it. Gets to about the 50-yard line. Tackle made by Clinton Corder, who's been a busy man here in the first half. Gain of 7 on the play. Clock running at 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Boyd Buchanan out of the huddle quickly. And they'll speed up the pace of the game just a bit.
A little hurry up.
2nd down and 3. Healy looks to the right. Now back across the middle. Can't find anybody. Has plenty of time. Now airs it out. Down the field. Got a man. It's heading behind the 2 minutes. He's in. Touchdown.
He had 2 men down there. You see that? He had his own man covering his own man.
50-yard touchdown pass. All of a sudden, Ryan Hedden, he says, hey, you can get behind me. I'll get behind you.
That's right. We talked about it earlier. What Will Healy does well is throw on the run. He makes things happen. You take a look right there. He's got 2 guys wide open down the field. He had Woodard and Hedden. Hedden makes up for his earlier blown coverage. He says, hey, I got that back for us. Now let's go.
It almost seemed like CPA didn't think Healy could get it over their head. They thought they were back deep enough, but Healy showed some great arm strength. Now he'll try to add the extra point, and it's blocked. Scott Greenwood came right up the middle.
Hey, Scott Greenwood's having a pretty good football game, and not only does he block it, but he lays a little wood, little salt to the wound. After getting the kick blocked, he throws a kick to the ground. Who's Will Healy? Said, hey, you threw a touchdown pass on my team. I like this kid. This kid's a warrior.
So Greenwood stops the momentum for the time being, but Boyd Buchanan gets on the board. It's now 17-6 CPA. So Healy gets the touchdown pass, his 21st of the year. He's now 6 of 11 here in this first half for 147 yards.
That's a tough throw. He's on the run. He's rolling to his right, and he gets it down the field. Really good job by his receivers to continue to make things happen.
So CPA will be in the 2-minute drill as they come back. 1:56 to go in the half.
Now, if you're CPA, what do? Obviously, I don't know what to do because I'm not that good of a football coach, because Coach Pack went down and scored right away. Does he throw it again? Does he put it up in the air?
Well, early on, they weren't having any trouble running the ball.
No.
Boyd Buchanan has adjusted and slowed them down there.
Right.
Then CPA comes back, goes to the air.
Defensively, they've done a great job. I mean, if you think about it, they started out, they were on their heels. They were getting the snot beat out of them. And all of a sudden, they back up and they say, oh. And you got to give credit to some of the big guys up front for Boyd Buchanan. William Nelson, the linebacker, did a good job. Dan Moore came with a big play. Poirier came with a big play. Ron Beagles came with a big play. Those guys are making plays and slowed down CPA, but big hitter right there from E2 to Williams.
So Dan Williams is back, and the kick is popped up. And it'll take a bounce at the 25. Fielded there by Williams. And he doesn't go very far. Just about a 3-yard return before he's hit hard by Jeremy Davis. And so CPA will take over at their own 28.
Hey, I'm a believer. Lay the wood. And Davis says the same.
Davis has had some big hits in this first half.
He's had a bunch of them. I mean, he's done a good job. Davis and really William Nelson defensively have made sure that all their hits are going to count.
So we'll see what CPA decides to do here with the 17-6 lead and 1:51 to go. They just hit the big play to Williams.
Right, he's coming back with the same formation, the 3 wide, so it wouldn't shock me for him to go back to the air again.
We've got a change of footballs here. They'll swap them out from the sideline. 1st and 10, CPA from their own 28. Will Hooper, the fullback, is the only man in the backfield. E2 rolls, looks, throws to the sideline. Sykes has it across the 40, and it'll be a first down. Alex Jones on the tackle.
Inbounds or out of bounds. He's going to stop the clock to move the chains. I think they're going to set. Are they calling him out? They're calling him out of bounds, so that'll stop the clock. Right here, Sykes makes the catch, turns it up, tackled, and ooh. I think he should have been tackled in bounds. He was. He was considered in bounds because the clock's running.
Clock running again after the stop to move the chain. So first down at the 41 after a gain of 13. Now E2 rolls to the left. Throws under pressure. Got a man, it's caught. Big catch down the field.
But they got to stop.
Chris Peak has it for the first down. They'll stop the clock to move the change. 1:22 to go. E2 right on the money on that one.
I'm gonna tell you, E2's done a good job. I mean, he drops back, he hits his receivers. I mean, he's doing a good job of managing the clock too.
14 yards on that play. Clock begins to run again. 1:17 to go. Spread formation once again for the Lions. Christ Presbyterian Academy, the state champions 2 years ago. E2 rolls, got a flag, and he throws it away.
Right, and they got a hold back here. That should take them back out of the plus side of the football field. What they're doing is they're half-rolling E2 to try to get some added protection because they know the edge guys are doing a good job for Boyd Buchanan. Really good job, good game plan. They half-roll E2 to the right and to the left and let him throw on the run a little bit more. Coach Pack's mad at somebody.
There they are moving the pocket. And it's number 34, right. Taylor Yother, breaking through and drawing the penalty.
Right, and it's really a good job. They don't want it. When you're a defensive end, last thing you want is a quarterback getting outside of you.
And this is a costly penalty. They move them way back.
Something tells me Coach Pack might be a little bit upset. What do you think?
I couldn't tell by his expression, though.
No, nice and calm.
So 1st and a mile. 1st and 25 from their own 39. 15-yard penalty there. Reverse. Dan Williams has it. Looking for a block. Gets across at the 45. He's to midfield, across midfield, so he gets back a good chunk of yardage. Jeremy Davis came over to make the tackle.
timeout by CPA. They're still going to try to get some points with 51 seconds on the clock. I'll tell you, Coach Pack says, hey, we're not stopping here. We're going for the jugular, which is a great attitude. I'm a believer. Hey, be aggressive, and that's what he's doing. He's being as aggressive as they can, believing in his players, and a lot of credit goes to Coach Pack.
13 yards for Dan Williams. The ball now at the Boyd Buchanan 49. Coming up will be 2nd down and 14. So Dan Williams has had some big plays.
Right.
Williams on the day, 1 carry for 12 yards that you just saw, 2 catches for 86 yards and a touchdown, including an 84-yarder. Just a minute ago.
He's got a bunch of tackles on defense too.
Yep.
Don't forget that.
Returning
he's done a
kicks
good job.
as well.
Returned kicks. I mean,
Punts.
He's done a good job. I mean, he really is a good football player. And you look at Coach Pack, I think his team is exactly that. It's a team. I don't think he has any outstanding above and beyond players. He has a bunch of good football players.
You know, that's a good point, Pat. His team that won it 2 years ago had a lot of Division I players.
Right.
Stephen Ross went to Georgia Tech. Cooper Wallace is playing a lot for Auburn that was on that team.
Was it Latimer?
David Latimer, I think, went to, I want to say Furman.
He went to Furman, and didn't he have a receiver that went to Florida?
Yeah, Brian Stone, who was actually the holder for the Gators last year. This team, I don't think, has that kind of Division I talent right now. Whistle blows on 2nd down. They blow the play dead.
Motion. Looks like probably motion on one of the receivers, yeah. Otherwise they wouldn't. I don't think he's. Yep.
False start. And so David Pack, he thought his team was executing pretty well up until now.
Right now,
a couple of big penalties here.
He's shaking his head. You gotta love the animation on Coach Pack, though.
So now that'll make it 2nd down and 19 from the 44. E2. They go into that same formation that's been effective here in these last 2 series. 3 receivers to the far side. Straight drop for Adam E2. Looking, rolling, throwing. Uh-oh. Just incomplete. Alex Jones almost had his 8th interception of the year.
He's had a bunch. I mean, and I'm surprised we haven't seen him coming after kicks. He's got 6 block kicks like we talked about earlier. Jones does a good job. Hey, he drives on the football right here and says, Look at him right here. They're playing him like a robber in the middle of the field and letting him kind of read the quarterback. Does a good job. He's the robber. He sits there in the middle and drives on the football whichever way E2 throws it.
That's a tough throw for any quarterback.
Absolutely.
But E2 rolling to his left, throwing back to the right. That's a dangerous pass.
Yep.
So 3rd and long.
They like
3rd
this,
and 19.
They've been running this trips formation, 3 wides to the left and and the tight end to the right.
E2 under a rush. Screen pass. Looking for Williams. He threw it over his head. He hit Hugh Latimer in the foot. One of the lead blockers on the play, so that'll bring up 4th down.
The old zipper screen. We call it the zipper screen because the Z receiver, which is the number 2 receiver, he kind of slides in like a zipper, and they just dump it right over the top to him and hopefully make him break a couple tackles. They're going to go for it here on 4th down, I think.
Let's see what we've got here. 4th and 19, 35 seconds to go in the half. Interesting decision here by David Pack.
He's going to kick it.
Nope, they will punt it. No, they won't. They look like they may go for this. E2.
Shift.
Nope. They pitch, and Peak will punt it. I wonder what was going on there. Nobody backs the return. He takes a good bounce. Hedden picks it up. Heads for the sideline. Tries to turn the corner and does. Now he's got a nice block. Got 2 great blocks. He's to midfield and out of bounds with 20 seconds to go in the half.
I'll tell you right now, Robbie Armstrong got one of those blocks that you talk about for a long time, number 63. He got a couple great blocks. Watch here. Pete kicks it. They pitch it back to him. He kicks it. Away it goes. They set it. Now watch the block coming up by number 63. Right? Oh, he just fell out of our screen. I'm sorry.
And there's Dan Moore with another good block, number 30.
Yeah, a couple Slobberknockers right there.
20 seconds to go, 28 yards on the return for Hedden. You could see Hedden going, should I pick it up? Should I pick it up? Good decision to do it.
Absolutely.
Still 2 timeouts for Boyd. Healy got plenty of time. Everybody dropping back into coverage.
Scramble.
For CPA.
Set your feet. Good
Healy
throw.
over the middle. Incomplete. Trapped. Almost a great catch there by Henry Woodard.
Healy is a lineman's nightmare. You know why? Because you're a lineman, you think you got your guy blocked. You're faced up on him. He's right in front of you. He's right in front of you. And what happens is he's scrambling around, and all of a sudden you don't have your guy. As a receiver, remember, if you're a receiver, this is what you do. You got a deep route and your quarterback scrambling, you come back. Don't stand still like number 18 did right there. And don't wave your hands. That's the other thing. Don't worry about it. If he scrambles and you had a deep route, come back to him, and if you had a short route, you go down the field.
I'm thinking of quarterbacks that made a living like that. Fran Tarkenton comes to mind. Obviously, Doug Flutie. Running all over the place.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons CPA, if you look, they really don't rush that many guys.
There's a guy right now in the NFL that does something like that runs around. I don't know, Vic or something like that.
Michael Vick can get it done. That gentleman you can recognize, even though he has grown the beard here in the last couple of weeks. That's getting a lot of attention.
Move on.
Jeff
Forget
Fisher.
about the beard. Let's good football coach. I'm sure he's proud of his sons out there. Number 10, Brandon Fisher. And Mr. Fisher is what I'm going to call him tonight because he's a parent first tonight. And that's the most important thing for him.
Yeah, don't ask him about the Titans today. He wants to talk about the Lions.
That's right.
CPA's son Brandon, a sophomore, has had a great year. 82 tackles, 3 interceptions, and 1 return for a touchdown. As we get back to live action, Healy under a big rush this time. Over chase.
Nice block! Oh my
goodness! Across the field, and there's Hedden inside the 30. Can he get to the end zone? Time has run out.
Either.
He's still on his feet. He's still on his feet. He may go.
Oh my God! They got a clip. They got a clip.
And it was Brandon Fisher. He didn't score anyway. They still run him down. That will end the half. Brandon Fisher was clipped at about the 30-yard line. 3 referees saw.
Henry Woodard got the clip on Brandon Fisher. If you take a look, I mean, hey, he's just trying to make a play. You can't knock him for that.
37 yards on the play, a while into the half. 17-6 is our score. Let's go down to Greg Pollard.
All right, guys, we got Coach Pack here. Coach Pack, your guys have played an excellent ball game here in the first half. What do you got to do in the second half to hold on to this lead?
Well, we're pretty disappointed about that touchdown. You know, we let him get behind us, and the quarterback's a great player, great scrambler, but, you know, no excuse for getting beat deep in our defense. And, you know, I think, I'm not very pleased with us, really, to be honest with you. I mean, the score's okay, but we're not executing offensively. I thought defensively we were on our heels in the second quarter, and I'm not very pleased at all, really, to be honest with you. But, the score gives us some cushion, but that's an explosive football team. So, you know, this is far from over.
Well, your guys have been here before, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you very much.
Greg Pollard down on the sideline talking with David Pack. He drives a hard bargain.
And Greg makes a good point. Experience goes a long way.
CPA won it 2 years ago. They lead it 17-6 over the Boyd Buchanan Buccaneers from Chattanooga. Stay tuned. Our halftime activities are coming your way next from Floyd Stadium.
Opening kickoff, went to the 50 and then put together that 50-yard drive and scored. Then a turnover by the Bucs. They got a field goal, and it's 10-0. But then again, Boyd Buchanan comes back in the second quarter, and they really controlled the second quarter. But the Bucs have turned it over twice in this game. They have missed a field goal, and they have had an extra point block. That's your score, 17-6. We've got a lot of fun things to bring to you here at halftime. But first, I want to talk about CPA. You know, this is their second trip to the state championship game in the last 3 years, and it's really a remarkable story considering that this school has only been playing football a little over a decade. Now, David Pack came in and he really began this program, and it all started not really at CPA and on their campus, but it really began over at Bellevue Middle School in Nashville. So he did an interesting thing this week. He loaded up his coaching staff and he loaded up all his players and he put them on buses, and they didn't practice at their school, CPA, on their campus. He went back to where the program first began at Bellevue Middle School. He said it's important to go back to your roots to see where you began and where you are now. We have a nice story. Take a look. Sometimes you have to go back to the past to understand the future. And that's why David Pack brought his Lions to Bellevue Middle School for practice tonight. This is where the program first began a decade ago.
The guys have big brothers who played here and watched games here and played little tackle football games over there when they were just kids. So they know this field, and it's a chance to go back and remember where we've come from.
This is where it all started. Some teams are going to find turf somewhere and practice on that, and we just want to get back to where we were and realize what we're really playing for.
What they're playing for is the school's second state championship in 3 years. Quite an accomplishment considering the short time the school has been playing football. Maybe that's why David Pack keeps bringing his players back to their old stomping ground, to remind them just how far they've come in such a short time.
It kind of reminds them of the roots and the tradition that we built in a short time, and it's a chance to go back and remember, you know, just how it's happened.
This used to be, you know, sort of our football paradise in a sense. I mean, it's just so many memories coming back, like just a bunch of memories, and just remembering where you came from.
I think it will be a great teaching place for all of us, maybe particularly us as coaches, learning from kids that anything's possible.
Boy, anything is possible, and those CPA Lions are leading 17-6 here at halftime. You know, we know that the players are probably a little bit nervous playing on statewide television. The coaches are nervous, obviously, but we know there are nervous parents sitting in the stands, and I've got one famous nervous parent sitting right next to me. This is Titans head football coach Jeff Fisher, and let's take the coaching tag off your name. Just today, you are Jeff Fisher, parent and football fan. You've got to be nervous because your son Brandon is the starting defensive back for the CPA Lions. How are you?
I'm doing real good, thanks. You know, I don't think it's nerves. It's more excitement. You know, I'm just thrilled for the entire program, the entire school. You know, I watched them all year long, and actually was with them last year and followed them, and to get off to an 0-3 start and come back the way they have, it's been really a testament.
And NFL coaches are so busy. Do you get an opportunity to see many of Brandon's games?
Yeah, I've been to every single one. Friday typically is a light day for us, so we're out there late afternoon, so I can make them. The one exception was the weekend we were out in Oakland. We went out on Friday, so I missed that one, but I haven't missed it.
So it's very important to you. Let's take you back earlier this season. There was a play, I think it was against Ezell Harding. It may have been Brandon's first start, where he intercepted a pass and took it back. And you were just like the regular fan. You had the video camera up in the stands and very excited. I think we've actually got video of it. But talk about being up there with the parents and just watching as a parent.
Well, I mean, you can ask any other parent what it's like. I really don't do anything different. You know, I come in, I try to get there early and watch the tail end of the warm-ups, and then just sit there and watch the ball game and root for them. And I think I'm like, this is my first experience of this, obviously. But what I'll do is I'll watch my son, as most parents do. They don't typically follow the ball or follow what's going on, other than just watch one particular player. And it's the first time where I've really watched the game that way. You know, typically I'll stand there, whatever game it is you're watching. You know, you just watch the flow of the game, and in this case, it's just watching him play, and it's really been fun.
Do you ever find yourself wanting to coach or offer advice to David Pack? I mean, obviously you have a great knowledge of the game. Maybe I should go down at halftime and say, Coach, offensively, maybe try this, or defensively, or do you exonerate yourself from that?
Oh yeah, I don't do anything like that. I'm just a parent. I trust them. They do a great job. And one thing that's interesting is that people often ask that of me oftentimes, and you know, it's I really don't have an understanding of their level of comprehension. So you don't know what they can do, what they can't do, and it would be a challenge to do that sometime. But I don't. I sit there and watch it, enjoy it. As I said, I'm just a fan and a parent, just like anybody else up there.
I did watch you in the second quarter though, and you were actually whispering some coaching stuff out here, but you don't take it out there on the
Well, field. I said, get deep, get deep. This quarterback on the other team can throw the ball long and scramble around. It looks like it's going to be a great ball game.
All right, now you've got a pretty big ball game yourself coming up on Sunday. All that's at stake is first place in the AFC South. This is a huge game at the Coliseum on Sunday against the Colts.
Yeah, we got a pretty good team coming in here. It's we've had a great week of practice. I told the guys today after we finished up that we got our second wind, and we got our second wind in the locker room last week at Giant Stadium. After that win, they just really came back to life. And the Baltimore thing was difficult for us, but Coach Dungy's got this team playing well. We made some plays in the first matchup. The second one's always a challenge because it's such a different game. Their offense is playing better. They're healing up a little bit, and of course their defense is now ranked number 2. But I pointed out some things too to us. We've done some similar things the last 4 weeks that the Colts have done. So this is going to be a real fun ball game.
Peyton Manning coming back to Tennessee. This is a state that's embraced him. You think there's extra pressure on him because this will be the first regular season game for Peyton back in this state since he left to go play in the NFL?
I don't think there's any extra pressure on him. This is a big game. They are on a roll, but he's been in big games before. He did come back 2 years ago for the summertime. You remember we had the scrimmage and all the practice, and so he's been to the Coliseum, and so I don't think there's any extra pressure. I hope there's some additional distractions for him, and so on and so forth. And I know one distraction is going to be the noise because it's going to be quite loud.
How about Edgerrin James and the fact in game 1 he was not healthy? In game 2 on Sunday, you expect him to play?
He came out of last week's game with an ankle right at the end, didn't come back in, but he's been listed as probable all week, and we fully expect him to play. The thing that concerns me a little bit about Edge is that if you look back, he's been more productive on the grass than he has been on the turf. And I think that has a lot to do with him still recovering from the ACL injury. So once again, here he's on the grass. So we're going to have our hands full in the run game.
And I have to ask you about Steve McNair, obviously, because he did not practice before the Giants game. We were joking about it a little bit earlier during the week, the fact that maybe he doesn't need practice. He hasn't practiced much this week either.
No, he actually hasn't practiced at all. Yeah. Did some soft toss today, and it's very similar to where he was, last week at this time. But we saw what he did last Sunday without practice. We're hopeful that he can do it again. If anybody needs practice, he does, and he's the first to say that, but he can't. So fortunately, he's got such a good understanding of the offense and a very good understanding of the Colts defense that he should be able to get by without it this week.
Talk to me about what you think the playoff or the atmosphere will be like in the Coliseum, because you've mentioned this is almost like a playoff game.
Well, I mean, I know it's going to be very loud. It has to be loud. Our guys are going to be jacked coming out of the tunnel, and we expect to get off to a fast start, and we certainly need the fans' help with that. Aside from that, I mean, it's going to be 60 minutes of ball, and there's going to be some ups and downs.
Over there for Boyd Buchanan, my hands would be right by the ball. Well, I'd be the guy taking the balls out and giving them to the coach. Yeah, I'll get it for you, coach. But two things I want to touch on. Number one is CPA's experience. They were here 2 years ago, so these seniors obviously have had a taste of championship atmosphere, championship game. On the other side, you look at Boyd Buchanan and what they've done to get to this point. They haven't been behind very often, so this is a position that they are not in very often.
Boyd Buchanan fumbled on their first possession, the second play from scrimmage, missed a field goal after driving the field on their second possession, fumbled again on their third possession inside the 10-yard line, turned over on downs at the 15-yard line of CPA on their fourth possession before breaking through to get their score. So 17-6, they will get the ball to start the second half. Here's John Price to kick it off for CPA. Lions lead by 11, and we're underway in half number 2, a high short kick taken by Akins at the 25. Akins to the 30. Looking for a block. Gets to the 40, and that's about it. So, again, Boyd Buchanan cannot complain about their field position, a 15-yard return.
Right.
And they have a good starting spot.
I really think, you look right here at Healy's numbers, 7 for 13. That's over 50%, 184 yards and a touchdown. Look for them to throw it a little bit more, open up their offense. Like we said, they haven't been down very often. So this is a position that if you're Coach Akins, you've been a little bit uncomfortable with because you haven't been in it. The experience factor is not there.
We mentioned the balance coming in from the Boyd Buchanan offense. They have passed much more effectively in the first half. We'll see if they can get the running game going. Here's a fumble just to start that. Loses the handle. It's still on the ground. And CPA picks it up.
That was enormous right there.
Crushing turnover. Will Hooper picks it up, and CPA gets a huge gift.
And the sad thing is poor Will Healy, he goes down to just cover it up and doesn't, realizes I'm going down, tries to get back up, doesn't make it in time, pushes the ball backwards, and there you see the turnover battle. Right here, gun snap. It's not a bad snap. They were going to run the quick sweep with the fullback, and Healy puts it on the ground and then makes a cardinal mistake by not just falling on the football.
Well, it looked like he even tried to fall on it, but still didn't do it. I don't know. Maybe the ball warmer had put a little spring in that football extra. Or something. So CPA has great field position. They give it to the fullback Hooper, and he's inside the 20-yard line.
Nice job right there. I mean, this is a great drive. 5-yard pickup for Hooper. Great drive for CPA if they can put points on the board, come out with a commanding 24-6 lead.
There's E2, 6 of 11 in the first half. He had the 84-yard touchdown pass to Dan Williams. Other than that, he hit some short routes.
Right, both those touchdown passes came behind the defenders, which is, like I said, a cardinal rule for a defense. Don't let anybody get behind you.
Chris Peak had 61 yards rushing in the first half. And he gets it here. Peak pounds his way to the 15. He's going to be short of the first down, maybe by a yard. William Nelson on the tackle.
3-yard pickup right there for Peak. Does a good job. But William Nelson in the defense for Boyd Buchanan, who really has played pretty well. You got to give him credit. They got run on pretty hard in that first quarter. They settled back down. They did a good job. And the guys from Chattanooga have done a good job adjusting to what CPA is throwing at them.
So here comes a 3rd and 1 for the Lions. E2 is going to survey the defense. Got 2 tight ends in the game. Just 1 wide receiver. Quarter in motion. 2 tight ends to the left side. They run it that way. And big hole for Chris Peak. He's inside the 10, has the first down easily, and it'll be 1st and goal. Pat, they just overloaded the line.
They went heavy on that left side with the 2 tight ends. Actually, I thought it was an illegal formation, but obviously it wasn't. They go 2 tight ends to the left side, and they bring big old quarter over there. Fullback leads through, and Peak picks up a nice little chunk.
The 2 cornerbacks, Alex Jones and Blake Beckham, had to make the stop.
That's not
Peak untouched through the hole.
It's not a good sign when your secondary's making a lot of the tackles, and that's what Boyd Buchanan has to avoid, and they have to try to get a turnover right here.
1st and goal at the 7. Split backfield this time, quarter in motion. The Lions give it to Peak. Peak inside the 5. Tackle there by Matt Henley.
Right, they came back with the same formation, same play. If you look at it, they swing that tight end back over to the left. They overload the left side and try to stuff it on up in there. Don't be surprised if you see a little play action right here and E2 throws the football to one of those tight ends.
We mentioned battling in the trenches was going to be a big key to CPA's game. They have done it so effectively in this run to the championship game. They were facing a team in Boyd Buchanan coming in that allowed just 2.8 yards per carry, but they've run the ball effectively so far. 2nd and goal from the 5 this time. Quarter this time goes in motion to the right. They run it right. Peak inside the 5. Now push back. Good pursuit to the ball by the Boyd Buchanan defense.
2-yard gain right there. Same play. This time they just move it over to the right. I thought they'd come with a play action. It would have been a good time for that. I'm not trying to coach Pack, but they come back with it to the right side. And you got to, again, give credit to the Boyd Buchanan defense. Good penetration. A nice tackle right there by number 31. That's Tyler Miller. Nice
so
play.
Miller, the safety, coming up and adding support for the run. It looks like CPA really likes to run behind Hooper, the big fullback, and Quarter, the big tight end.
And then the credit goes to those big guys up front. Don't forget them.
Always, as a former lineman, Pat, you want us to recognize the guys up front. So 3rd and goal now from the 5. CPA trying to break it open. They give it to Peak. He stopped. Big tackle there, William Nelson.
I'm going to tell you right now, that's a character builder for the Boyd Buchanan defense. You bent, you let him down there inside the 5, and you shut it down, and now Price will come on to try a field goal. But you look right here, it's a big play right there by William Nelson. Again, I'm kind of shocked that they didn't try a play action or anything like that. Nice job, though, by the big men moving the ball down the field. I'm going to give credit to Stroop, Latimer, Greenwood, Cost, and Boggs. Have done a great job up front for CPA.
So a tough angle here for Price. He'll put it down from 20 yards out. It is up, and it is right down the middle. CPA adds 3 points off of another turnover for Boyd Buchanan, and it's 20-6.
Right, 2 touchdowns now. They're going to need 2 to come back into the game.
7:47 to play in the 3rd. Boyd Buchanan needs 2 touchdowns.
The old Boyd helmet man.
They brought a lot of people from Chattanooga in this game. It's a great crowd for the 1A championship. Alex Jones takes the kickoff at the 20, and he is wrestled down at the 30. CPA covering kicks pretty well, just about 8 yards on the return. It'll be 1st and 10 for Boyd Buchanan.
This could be a backbreaker for CPA. If you can shut them down right here and force them to give up the football, it could be Katie bar the door.
Will Butler making the tackle for the Lions. So Will Healy, after the nightmare start to the second half, and there is CPA's ensuing scoring drive after he fumbled the shotgun snap.
First drive of the game, they put the ball on the ground, bad snap. First drive of the second half, they put the ball on the ground, first snap.
So Will Healy is capable of getting hot, and they'll need him to now, trailing by 2 touchdowns. There's Jones in motion. He's a big playmaker. They pitch it out to Nelson. Nelson on the sweep, nowhere to go. Fisher in the backfield makes the play.
I'm going to tell you right now, that's a great play. It's a great play by number 4, Quarter, and by number 10, Brandon Fisher. You're going to take a look right here. Down, they try to run this toss right here with the fullback leading. Actually, it's Will Hooper. Will Hooper does a good job, and then Brandon Fisher does exactly what you ask him to do. Come, turn it back inside, avoid the blockers, make a tackle. Good job by Brandon. I'm sure his dad's proud.
His dad, of course, joining Skip Baldwin at halftime for our coverage. Certainly cheering on that play. Fisher has had a solid first half and now a good start to the second half. Loss of 5 on the play, 2nd down and 15. Healy from the shotgun. Has some time. Being chased by Greenwood. Now picks up a block. Throws over the middle. Incomplete. Great coverage that time.
Three-man
by Ben
rush.
Weber.
A three-man rush by CPA. And really, they're not trying to get a ton of pressure. They're getting just enough, but they're doing a good job staying in those zones. And the deep men this time are staying deep. They're not going to bite on the scramble again, and that's a big part of it.
Pat, I was really curious to see how CPA's defense would handle the spread offense, because they've seen the spread the last 2 weeks. I'm sure Boyd Buchanan hasn't faced a defense that has that much experience against their type of offense.
And they've seen Ezel, who runs the exact same thing twice. So that's a big. It was a point made by Coach Pack also.
So they're not fooling anybody with their offense. CPA is used to what they do. Healy deep down the middle, looking. A lot of CPA Lions back there. Chris Peak hits the intended receiver, Blake Beckham. And the pass falls incomplete.
What they're doing, they're rushing 3 and they're dropping 8, and that's really a good job of zone defense by CPA. One thing I wanted to get into, that's a big stop by CPA. Like I said, it could be a backbreaker because now CPA will take the football, try to go down and finish.
Dan Williams is back. He's had a big first half.
He's made a lot of big plays, really. If you think about Dan Williams' plays, he's been the secure guy on the kickoff and secure guy on the punt return team. And
Healy gets it away, averaging 39 yards a punt. And he gets a great bounce here. And this will get inside the 30-yard line. And so Boyd Buchanan gets a good change of field position.
Hey, remember the Blue Cross
47
Bowl
yards.
where I kicked that 47-yard punt? It was a bomb.
A high spiral, right?
That's right.
20-6 CPA.
Right.
For the big bruising Chris Peak.
Right. And Chris Peak, don't go big bruising. He's not that big and not that bruising, but I'll tell you one thing, he runs very hard, and I think Landers is more of a scat guy. Kind of quick, shifty, change of direction.
Landers ran for 981 yards during the season. In the first half, Landers 2 carries for 3 yards. Second down and 5. Adam E2 on the draw. Landers again.
Oh, my goodness.
Cracked pretty hard there by Jeremy Davis.
Hey, Jeremy Davis is a good football player. I'm telling you, you watch him, he's done a good job defensively all night, made a bunch of big plays. I really like this kid. He's done a good job. Nice read. Watch Davis. He's number 50 in the middle of your screen. He sees it. He reads it, cuts back, defeats the block of number 62, Scott Greenwood, one of my guys. And big play, Jeremy Davis, another one of my guys now.
Just winning the battle. Jeremy Davis is getting that All-Sperduto team
That's right.
toughness award here.
That's right. I collect only the best.
Time running down here in the third quarter. CPA loves to run the clock here.
Yeah, the only problem with my team, I'd have 11 linemen out there at all times. No quarterback. We don't need no football. Just smash heads.
You don't qualify if you're a quarterback.
I want to talk about the parents. The thrill, I mean, I'm a parent 3 times over. The thrill these parents must be going through, seeing their sons, and even think about it. These parents, they got to be so dedicated. They come out here, God bless them, and their hearts beating for their poor kids, and they live and die with every throw and every pass and every catch and every drop and every fumble. So, a little bit of credit to the parents too. I'm very impressed, and don't forget, not just the parents, the grandparents I'm sure are here, and the aunts and uncles, and God bless them all. They're warriors.
Toughing it out in the cold weather tonight. We were really worried yesterday when we had the precipitation on top of the coldness, and it really cleared up nicely. Should even get warmer tomorrow.
Right, it's supposed to be in the 50s tomorrow, but, like I said, a lot of credit. I'm going to take all the fans, and they're going to be on my team, too. I'm going to take them. These are going to be my fans. Whoever comes tonight and tomorrow night, they're going to be my fans.
3rd and 5 for Christ Presbyterian Academy. With a 2-touchdown lead. E2 on the fake. He's hit hard with fumbles.
That is big.
Who's got it? Boyd Buchanan has it.
Yes, they do.
The Buccaneers with the big turnover. Dan Moore.
Dan Moore, I'm telling you right now, let's go back. We talked about Jeremy Davis. Dan Moore's another guy that's been making big plays. I mean, you just look at what he's done. And Tyler Yoder, another guy who makes a big play. He's the guy that recovers it. Watch here. Moore comes off the edge. Good job. Doesn't bite on the fake. He keeps coming. Good. And the other falls on the football. I'll tell you, when I look at film, we'll go after this play, I'll tell you.
13th sack for Dan Moore. And here comes Nelson plowing his way right up the middle. driving tacklers inside the 15. It's a first down.
We talked about that, running the football up the gut. But when I look at film of guys, I want to see the big play factor. Fall on the football, force a fumble, tip a pass. Those are the guys. Those are the big play guys. And right here you see William Nelson up the gut. This is what we just talked about in the break, seeing more of. We had hoped that if you're Boyd, you're going to run the ball a little more up the gut because they're dropping 8.
That's where Nelson has got to be effective. He's bigger. He's having trouble getting outside. 12 yards on that play. They go again up the middle to Nelson. Angling, taken down by Sykes, but another good first down. He's now inside the 10-yard line. This is a touchdown drive here for the Buccaneers.
This is the 4th trip down here without, if you come out without points, their 1 touchdown was on a bomb. This is their 4th trip into money area. The green, I call this the green zone because you want to score and get the money. So right here, this is their 4th trip into the green zone. And if you're the defense, it's the red zone because you want to stop them. And if you're Boyd Buchanan, like you said, it's a must score.
2nd down and 6. 4 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Up again, it's Nelson inside the 5. Turned away there, and it's Jess Miller on the tackle. That'll bring up a 3rd down.
3rd and 2. They're going to be in a 3rd and 2 situation. Now, you're probably going to see Coach Pack and Tom Moore and Coach Wade adjust right here and change the front, and that's what you're seeing. You're seeing a big man come in for a little man.
Yeah, Chris White comes in as an extra line.
Right. They add another big guy in. They take out one of the little guys. Now they'll bulk it up in the gut. Don't be surprised if you see some pressure coming off the edge, too.
So big 3rd down and 2. The Buccaneers have gone to a power running game on this drive, and they've gotten themselves into scoring territory. Healy draws them offside.
That's half the distance to the goal, so it still might not be a first down.
Now CPA is pointing. Here's Brandon Fisher trying to draw the call.
That's coach's son.
There you go. Always point. It never hurts to point, right?
Automatically. It was them. Just like when it's a fumble, you tell your team, everybody on defense point.
It's not going to work.
Let's get the call.
So it will go against CPA. Half the distance to a goal, but it will not.
Right.
Will this be a first down?
I don't know. I don't think he got enough. Right there you see the jump. I don't think he's got enough. I think it's still 3rd and about a foot.
3rd and inches now from just outside the 2-yard line.
Changing personnel for Boyd Buchanan now, too. That was you, Latimer. I hate to point you out, you're one of my guys, but you can't jump.
Hughes' brother David was a fine running back on that state championship team 2 years ago. 3rd and short. They go to Nelson. Nelson pounding his way. Touchdown. Boyd Buchanan. They're back in it.
Let me tell you right now, it's a nice run, too, by Nelson. A little twist in there. I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to change it up. We talked about it, too. They were so heavy laden with the pass. You said that they were so balanced earlier in the year. They had gone to the passing game almost exclusively in the first half. Coming at you, big William Nelson. Lowers the shoulder. Pete can't make the tackle. Fisher tries to jump in there.
Good spin there by Nelson to get in. Extra point is up by Healy, and it is good.
And that's a big extra point, too. Don't kid yourself. You look at here, that extra point forces them, gives them a chance to just score for the touchdown and kick another extra point to tie, or go for 2 and take the victory.
3 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the 3rd. It's now a 1-score game, as you see William Nelson. That is his 20th touchdown of the year.
There's no scheme to that. It's up the gut.
Ironhead Hayward kind of look.
Just give it to him up the gut. Let him go knock some people over.
He is listed, Pat, at 5'9", 220. That's a pretty big package coming at you.
And he's 5'9", 220. He might be even a biscuit shy of 230.
But you might have a couple biscuits on game day.
Yeah, you could. The pancake man. Used to be big pancake eaters.
So finally, Boyd Buchanan causing the turnover. They had all kinds of trouble holding on to the ball. They had turned it over 3 times. CPA cashed in. Now CPA gives it up, and Boyd Buchanan cashes in.
I'll tell you one thing. Nelson's played well on defense, too. Don't take away that Boyd Buchanan defense. Again, I go back to the first quarter. The first quarter, they were getting run on pretty hard. They settled down. Coach Aikens got them going. Lo and behold, they're in this football game now. We got ourselves a barn burner.
So this is how you get on TV. You act silly, you jump around, you get by the UPN.
That's absolutely true.
The kick is high, taken by Landers inside the 20. Looks to make a cut, and he does. He's across the 25 to the 30-yard line. Taken down there, so CPA will go back to work.
A, you get by the UPN sign, and 2, you take off your shirt when it's 30 degrees.
Seth Williams on the tackle.
Now, tomorrow night, we're going to have 40 people here without shirts on trying to get on TV.
Hey, whatever it takes, right? The moms won't be too happy, though.
No, mom
they see
will
their
be
son
mad.
without a shirt on in the freezing weather. So Adam E2 back into the huddle.
And now it's a big drive for CPA. Let's see the response. And now, personally, I think Coach Pack goes back to his running game that was so effective. And that's what it looks
Tight
like
formation
right
here. One wide out to the near side.
Yep.
There's the pitch out to Pete. Got a wall of blockers. And Nelson comes flying through to make the tackle.
I'm telling you right now, Boyd Buchanan playing on a little bit of emotion. You take a look right here. He comes out and scores. Then he comes back, scrapes down the line of scrimmage, and makes a big tackle on the toss sweep. Peak takes it. He's got Big Boy in front of him, quarter. He's got Hooper in front of him. Nelson does a good job sifting through the garbage and making a play.
Well, he really accelerated through the blockers.
He's a good football player. I think
it seemed to energize him. That offensive drive energizes him on defense.
Usually does.
2nd and 8 after the 2-yard gain from Pete. Clinton quarter in motion to the far side. And there's the pitch to the other side. Pete again.
Hey,
crushed. No gain.
I'm going to tell you what they've done. And if you look it up front, Willie, take a look at this pitcher from behind. You take a look at the box. They call it the box. It goes from end to end. Okay? They have 9 guys in the box. There's 9 players for Boyd Buchanan in the box. And there you see it. Big plays because they have so many people in the box. There's not enough bodies to account for them offensively. You can't get enough blockers in there.
Good job by the front 4. Charles Poirier.
Now he spreads it back out. He's going to spread it back out, and he's going to force people out of the box.
This is the formation that got the big touchdown to Williams earlier. 3rd and 8. Minute and a half to go in the 3rd. E2 looking. Has time. Rolling. Throwing. Nobody there. Dan Williams is well covered.
And you hear the crowd.
Bring up 4th down to listen to the Boyd Buchanan crowd.
And the CPA crowd sitting on their hands. They got to get going. Hey, another thing, when it's cold like this, it's good to cheer because it gets you warm. So CPA's guys, get off your hands, and you got to cheer on this side too. Boyd Buchanan, proud of you. You're part of my crowd.
So everybody in Chattanooga watching just got a little more wide-eyed.
That's
they
right.
got the momentum here in the 3rd quarter, so plenty of time in this game. Dan Williams is back in punt formation. Akins, the coach's son, back to receive it for the Buccaneers. Here comes the rush.
Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, Alex Jones, we talked about the 6 blocks. He came off the edge that time and almost got it.
Williams gets it off end over end, and it rolls inside the 40.
Hey, it's party time here. We got ourselves a football game. We started out, we thought we were worried. We thought CPA was going to run away with it. Coach Aiken said, not so fast, Kimosabe.
30 yards on the punt.
Hey, and you got to give credit to Coach Pack. He knew that his team, although they had a lead, you heard him at halftime. I'm not happy. I'm worried. This is a good, explosive football team, and they really are an explosive football team. But their last scoring drive was, I guess, uncharacteristic of their offense.
So Healy goes back to work. The Mr. Football candidate, and he gives to the backup running back. In this one, it was the guy that had the big play in the first half, Matt Pearden. He had a 26-yard run on the draw play.
And don't be surprised if you see big Mr. Nelson coming back into the house.
Well, it was interesting. I was talking to some people that covered Boyd Buchanan. I said, how do they use Nelson and Pearden? Because both of them rushed for well over 800 yards.
Right.
And sometimes they said they just alternated in series. So you figure you stay with the hot guy, but you change it up.
They're
Pearden had a
different
good
types
first
of
half.
backs, too. Don't forget that. Just like over the other side with Peak and
Peak and Landers. And here's the throw. Jones tipped, and it is intercepted. Dan Williams on the tip ball. Jones had it for a moment, and CPA has the ball back.
We talked about Dan Williams, playmaker. Didn't we say that earlier? Has the big touchdown. He's a big play guy. They got him back there on the punts. They got him back there on the kickoffs. Not a ton of pressure. Little play action to the tailback. Drops it, turns, throws, deflected ball by Jones, picked off by Williams. Another big play for Dan Williams, and I don't know if he had that, though.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was great concentration, though, to turn his body as he was falling down and reel it in with one hand.
And more importantly, block the official.
Well, CPA will take it. That is now the 4th turnover created by the Lions. They'll take it over 1st and 10 for the 43.
Oh, my goodness!
The missile coming in low was Dan Moore.
Again.
Dan Moore has 13 sacks. He caused the fumble
you watch
earlier
him
in
come
the
off
quarter.
the edge, underneath the block of the fullback. Hey, these guys go back to the box. Look at the box, Will. You're going to see 8 and 9 bodies in that box. They are saying, hey, Adam E2 has to beat us. That's what they're saying right now. Watch.
10 seconds to go in the quarter, and that's going to end it. So Dan Moore, who came into tonight's game with 31 tackles for loss, had a big sack and a caused fumble earlier in the quarter, now gets everybody jacked up again with the big submarine job. And we have reached the end of the third quarter. CPA leading 20-13. Still 12 minutes to play. Stay with us, folks. Willie Donegan, Pat Sperduto with you. Whistles on the first play. False start coming up here.
You got
this will back them up.
I think you got motion, and that's going to bring up a second and probably 17. But again, it goes back to what I said. Really, Boyd Buchanan has come up with an answer to CPA.
If you're just joining us, CPA jumped out early, 17-0. It was the opening kickoff. They went right down the field, scored. Chris Peak with a 5-yard touchdown run. Boyd Buchanan fumbled on their second play from scrimmage. CPA turned that into a field goal. Then they got a long play to Dan Williams, 84 yards in the second quarter to go up 17-0. Boyd Buchanan got a 50-yard bomb back the other way. Got the extra point blocked to make it 17-6. First play from scrimmage in the second half, Boyd Buchanan fumbles. CPA kicks a field goal. But Boyd Buchanan scores off the turnover, and here we are at 20-13. Second and long for the Lions. Etu looking deep. Throws, looking for Sykes, and this one is intercepted. Alex Jones. He's got room across the 50 to the 40. He's inside the 30, and he's knocked out of bounds.
Let me tell you, ill-advised pass, really, Willie. You look at that right there. That is and sometimes you tell your quarterback, you throw it as deep as you can, it almost turns into a punt. That's not what you wanted right there.
Alex Jones now has 8 interceptions on the year. He had run 2 of them back for touchdowns. He runs that one back 37 yards, and great field position for Boyd Buchanan.
Alex Jones is Boyd Buchanan's version of Dan Williams. And you take a look right here, he's in zone, he's that free safety in zone coverage. Actually, he's the corner in zone coverage playing deep half.
Here's Pearden, right up the gut, stopped at about the 20-yard line, and it's Scott Greenwood that makes the play. Greenwood and Latimer really plugging holes up the middle. And now CPA, whose defense has been very tough in this area of the field, will have to come up with another stop.
And Boyd Buchanan comes back with Nelson now. So don't be surprised if you see Nelson coming up the gut a little bit right here.
On the touchdown drive, he was very effective, and we have a whistle. Stopping play here with 11:24 to go.
All right, Nelson checks back into the game. We talked about, Chris Peak and their version of the opposite, and that's Landers. And over on the other side with Boyd Buchanan, they got the same type of combination with Pearson and Nelson.
Second down and, let's say, a short 9 is what we have on the scoreboard. Looks more like 8 when you look at the chains. Either way, Healy on the option. Keeps it, crosses the 20, and he's swallowed up there by Scott Greenwood with some help from Will Hooper.
You're going to go back to the first half, how I told you CPA has done a good job. Everybody knows their role. Look, defensive end, you take the quarterback, you crush him every single time. Cornerback, you got the pitch man, safety, you're the support man, and that's exactly what's happened every single time they've tried it. They've had the answer for it. CPA's done a good job, and now I bet you this is 2-down territory for Coach Aiken too.
Robert Aikens has seen his option offense be neutralized, taking it back to the second quarter. The Buccaneers were stopped inside the 10 when their quarterback, Will Healy, fumbled on an option pitch. Now it's 3rd and 5. The give is to Nelson. Up the gut, simple play. Inside the 15. It's going to be close to the first down. Let's see where they mark it.
One side, it looks like they got the spot. On the other side, it looks like he's short, but they're going to come up with a first down right here.
Hooper and Quarter on the stop. The ball is marked at the 8.
They might measure it. They're going to measure it.
They're going to measure this one. This is going to be very close.
It's a nice run right there by Nelson, too. If they don't have it, expect a quarterback sneak from Healy.
It almost looks like, Pat, they have simplified things a little bit on the Buccaneer offense.
Well, you go back to what you talked about, balance. They had so much balance throughout the year, and to start out this game, they were so heavy with the pass that they struggled. This is going to be close, but I think he's got it, if I'm guessing.
They pull the chain, and
does not.
Is just a little bit
about
short.
8 inches.
So remember, Boyd Buchanan has missed a short field goal earlier in the game.
Don't be surprised, hard count too. I could see Will Healy with a little hard count trying, because they've gotten the jump a couple times already.
They did on the last drive where they had the touchdown.
Right.
Plenty of time to go, 10 minutes, 15 seconds.
4th and inches.
CPA has led throughout. 4th and inches. Healy with Nelson, the deep back. And it's a keeper. And I don't know. I don't push the pile back. I'd be surprised if he gained anything there, Pat.
You know what, though? The spot of the officials, it looks like he's got it.
He was stood up right away.
Right. I thought it was a great job by CPA's interior lineman. They get a great push inside out, and that's what you hope for on both sides of the center. You pinch it in there, and that's exactly what they do. Big Scott Greenwood and number 61, Hugh Latimer, do a good job of pinching. You see all the linemen try to push that quarterback. You're going to get another measurement, and we'll find out what we got.
Boy, that is close. Great play by Greenwood and Latimer. They just completely stopped all the momentum.
Credit card.
Didn't get it. Nope. Maybe a half-inch short.
Maybe the game. Maybe.
So once again, CPA tightens up in the red zone.
That could be the play of the game right there. You know, if you think about a 4th and inches, you know, you would hope offensively if you're Boyd Buchanan, you know, if you can't get inches, I don't know if you deserve to win a state championship.
So now it's CPA's turn. Their offense hasn't gotten much done here in half number 2.
8 in the box again, 9 in the box right now.
E2 to Peak. Peak cuts it back.
Oh, nice.
Big gain across the 25
what a nice cut.
And out to the 27. A first down carry there for Chris Peak, his best carry of the half.
And you take a look and see what Boyd Buchanan has done this half as they've brought up 9 in the box. You see left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's one more outside of quarter number 4. Right here, they fill up the hole. There's the safety. That's his job, number 18. He's got to fill that gap. But it slowed him down.
Peak now getting close to the 100-yard mark. He had 180 yards rushing last week against the University School of Jackson. There's Hooper, the fullback. Flag on the play.
I think it's going to be a hold. Now you got to, the debate is on for Coach Akins. He's got to decide, does he take him back or does he take the down? I think he's going to take, if I'm the coach, I'm going to take him back because right now they're not very, E2's not very comfortable throwing the football. So we take him back, which I expect him to do, and go from there.
There's Robbie Armstrong making the tackle here on Hooper.
Right, you got 9 in the box again. I'm telling you, it's tough sledding in there when you have 9 people up there. Eventually, they're going to have to, Adam E2's going to have to make them respect them.
They do push it back. A 10-yard penalty here.
Right, it's from the spot, which was at the line of scrimmage, 10 yards. From the spot of the hold.
So first down and long, 1st and 10. Or make it 1st and 10 turns into now 1st and 20. Peak again, and Hooper in the backfield. It'll be a play-action pass. E2 loops it, looking for Porter. He leaps, and he makes the goal a minute and drops it. Wait a minute, are they going to give it to him?
Yep, they're calling it a completion.
Giving it to him.
Oh, boy. That's big Porter, the tight end. I told you earlier in the year he was the fullback. They moved him back to his tight end spot where he's comfortable. He goes up and gets this. Take a look. He runs the wheel route, which is out and up. Takes it up the field, leaps up. Big basketball player. The basketball coach got to be mad that he's still up playing.
Well, I don't know, Pat.
He's got it, and the ground can't cause a fumble.
Well, that one is about as close as it gets.
Hey, I'm glad I'm not either of these coaches. Because I'd be livid one way or the other.
26 yards on the play. A big break for CPA. Porter makes a huge catch. And now they come back to Peak. Up the middle he comes, he's hit hard.
You know what I respect right now? I respect Coach Akins because he had a plan that he adjusted to by putting all these guys up on the line of scrimmage. A lot of times you get beat with a pass, all of a sudden you change your game plan, you lose your patience. Right here, Coach Akins doesn't lose his patience, and Coach Pack, hey, these two guys are two good football coaches.
That was a gigantic first down picked up by CPA because it keeps the clock moving, it keeps the possession, calms things down.
And changes field position, too. I mean, they went from being in real negative territory to midfield.
Cole Shapiro is in as a wideout now for CPA. Nearing the 8-minute mark, 2nd down and 8 from the 44. E2 hands to Peak. Met right there by Robbie Armstrong. He's made a couple of big tackles on this drop.
You go back to what we talked about. People in that box area, what we call the box area, which is around the line of scrimmage, from the widest guy to the widest guy on the line of scrimmage. They put as many people up there, and they take the gaps. They let the linebackers come, and they run blitz a little bit with them, too.
CPA, if you're just joining us, is trying to hang on here. They led 17-0. Boyd Buchanan has been chipping away. CPA is winning the battle of time and possession. They're trying to chew up some more minutes off that clock here. 3rd and 6. Play action fake, E2. Looking. Throws incomplete. Dan Williams cut inside. The throw went to the outside. And that'll bring up 4th down. Blake Beckham on the coverage.
I'll tell you right now, you look, E2's got to make a completion eventually in this game, whether it's on the next series that they get the football. He's going to have to make something happen.
E2 is just 1 of 5 here in the second half. He was 6 for 11 in the first half for 134 yards. But he's thrown a pick here in the second half and has not been nearly as effective throwing
Alex Jones, 6 block kicks. You never know.
Watch number 6. He has blocked 6 kicks this year. They don't really come after Williams this time.
Trying
to
get
a high spiral here. Akins calls for and makes the fair catch at the 27. Still a lot of time. 7:12 to go.
Here we go.
And Boyd Buchanan takes over. So, Pat, the defense responds for the Buccaneers. CPA leads by 7. Stay tuned, folks.
Okay, everybody, listen up, please. For months, we've been wrestling with the company's health insurance policy. We've even brought in our broker to help us. And you know...
Boyd Buchanan takes over. 1st and 10 on the 27. Healy, the play fake. Guns it down the field. Through the hands of the receiver. Drew Akins had a hand on that ball inside the 40.
I'll tell you, he almost made the ball's a little bit behind. He almost made a great adjustment to the football, though. That's a tough catch. You got to give Drew a little bit of credit here. Nice play action. Healy sets his feet, lets it go. Tough adjustment, but you would hope he'd get it. Take a look right there.
He threw that ball off the wrong foot. Still got it.
I'll tell you right now, he can make all the throws. There's no question Healy can make all the throws.
There's no question also that Drew Akins felt like he should have had that one. Nelson plowing his way up the middle. Not much there.
Yeah, this is a drive here where you really want to try to get something. You want to try to get a chunk of yardage. Not so much, you don't necessarily need a score, but you need a chunk of yardage to try to change his field position, whether it be a play where you work a couple first downs, or it might have to end up being a big punt.
Will Healy, 7 of 17 on the afternoon. 184 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. The interception coming on a tip ball. He also has 2 fumbles. He's looking for his first completion of the second half. Healy looking to run. Had just a little bit of room, but a nice shoestring tackle that time is made. I believe it was Greenwood. No, it was Latimer. 61. Right. Down on the ground, getting just enough of his leg to stop his momentum.
Right here, you don't put enough emphasis on special teams. The kicking game is critical, and this is going to be a big kick right here.
Let's quickly go down to Greg Pollard.
You know, Willie, it's getting scary down here with CPA up right now in this ball game. I got lions of all different sizes down here. It's starting to get a little scary down here. Can you guys got room for me up in the box?
It looks like at least those lions can keep you warm. Great punt here by Healy. Huge punt, drives Williams back inside the 25. Turns it back upfield. Alex Jones makes the tackle at the 34.
Poor Greg. Greg got Lions, and Mitchell Tigers are on their way in. All we need is the Bears. Lions and Tigers and Bears.
Well, you do have the Bruins playing tomorrow night.
That's right. You got the Bruins.
45 yards on the punt.
Let me tell you, that's a big kick, too. You're trying to change as much field position as possible. And right now, if you're Boyd Buchanan, you need to stop.
CPA 20. Boyd Buchanan 13. 5 minutes and 40 seconds to play from Floyd Stadium. With the ball and a 7-point lead. Going in motion is Travis Sykes. Quarterback E2 gives to Chris Peak. Peak slicing his way and gets across the 40-yard line. Good first down play there. Charles Poirier makes the tackle.
And Poirier's made a couple big plays, too, for his first time out there. You take a look right here, that's a big run right there. Even though it's only 6 yards and not a first down, not a big play, that is a big play because what they're doing is they're setting it up. They're setting up manageable second and third downs when you get 6 on first down.
Luke Landers in the game to replace Chris Peak, who gets 6 yards on first down. Sykes, the former quarterback, in motion. The current quarterback, E2, makes the handoff, but we have a whistle.
Right. When they stop the play before it's run, usually it's on the offense and it's procedure or motion.
And David Pack and his offense have had that happen 2 or 3 times now in the second half.
And that's painful. You look at it, you know,
erases the good run by Peak.
You get a good run by Peak, 6 yards, puts you in a 2nd and 4, which is a great position to be in. You look there on your screen, 2 great football coaches, 2 great high school football coaches. I'm going to tell you that right now. And now it puts you in a 2nd and 9 or 2nd and 8, and that's unmanageable. You don't like those situations, 2nd and 9, 2nd and 8.
So Landers stays in. Sykes and Williams on the pro set at wideout. Inside of 5 minutes to play now. 2nd and long. E2 gives to Landers. Has 2 blockers. Cuts it back.
Big play.
First down. Oh, pops loose.
Oh, no.
Puryear falls on it, and Boyd Buchanan has it back.
What is he calling him down? He's not.
Wait a minute.
Down. Holding, they're going to decline that, and they're going to take the football.
And Boyd Buchanan.
I told you earlier, when I look at film on players, I want playmakers. Guys that tip footballs, tackles for a
holding
loss,
on the offense. Penalties decline. First down, White.
He is proving that he is a football player who recovers a fumble. Take a look.
Landers makes a good cutback here. He's got the first down.
Nice change of direction, cuts back, and then great strip by our man William Nelson, who could be, if Boyd Buchanan wins, the player of the game. I don't believe in, just so you know, whoever my vote goes for player of the game, it better be on the winning team. I don't believe in voting for the losing team.
Here's the pitch out to Pearden, and he's got nowhere to go. Matt Pearden into the game. He's had a couple of big runs here, but this one thrown for a loss. Quarter in there to make the tackle. One interesting note, the penalty, of course, was declined. That would have been the 8th penalty on CPA.
Right.
They've got 7 penalties for 48 yards. Boyd Buchanan, only 1 penalty called
That's
against them.
You know, both of these teams, though, I'm not going to, in my opinion, they both preach discipline, and that's why they're in this position, state championship, Friday night.
2nd and 12 after the loss of 2. Play fake for Healy. In trouble, being chased by Porter, looking to get out of trouble. Way back behind the line. Now he's got to outrun another guy.
Turn around, lineman.
Still way behind the line. Throws and hits Alex Jones. Jones breaks a tackle.
What did I say?
He's inside the 40. Cuts it back. He's to the 30 and falls down. First down after a huge play. You talk about Doug Flutie, Fran Tarkenton.
You talk about Doug Flutie, Fran Tarkenton. You talk about a lineman's nightmare. Forget about the quote. Poor lineman. They got to scramble to block for the guy. God bless. Take a look. These guys got to run around and throw blocks. But the good thing is you catch a lot of guys off guard when you get to block like that. You know, guys that aren't paying attention, you get to air hole them. I told you earlier, just before, when we were in break, I said, this guy's got to make a big play on the offensive side of the football, and Alex Jones did it.
23 yards, and of course it was about a -30 before they got to 23. Here's the give to the fullback. I believe it was Matt Henley that had the carry there.
We said at the break, we said, hey, Alex Jones has made a big play on defense, but he's really got it. He's the Dan Williams of Boyd Buchanan.
Alex Jones on the year came in with 40 catches, 7 interceptions. He had
6 block kicks.
He had the 8th, 6 block kicks. So he makes big plays, and that was a big one there. So now we're at the 2:53 mark. You figure, Pat, this is their best shot. This is the drive that they've got to make it happen. And remember how many times they've been in this area of the field where CPA is locked down. Here's the option. Healy, keeper, to the 25-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Right. I think
Jess Miller on the tackle.
I think they continue to run the option just almost to keep CPA honest, because what CPA is doing is they're bringing 3, they're dropping 8. You know, they're figuring, hey, let's try to catch him one time with the option. But Healy don't want to give up the football either. Every time, if you haven't noticed, Healy's run the option maybe, what would you say, half dozen times?
Yeah.
Of the half dozen times, how many times has he pitched it? Maybe once?
And the one time he did try to pitch it, he fumbled it and lost it.
Exactly. I just think, you know, right now they're in a situation, it's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. They got to get a first down here because they may not, well, let me tell you right now, with 2:18 on the clock, they will not get another chance like this.
Yeah, you can forget about the field goal. They've got to go for the touchdown here. So, Boyd Buchanan calls a timeout. That's their first charge timeout. We're kind of listening in.
You listen to Coach Wade's telling them, hey, big men, listen, forget about this. Clamp it down. If they go to the pass, you guys got to get off your blockers and get pressure. Keep your lanes. That's exactly what Coach Wade said was the outside guys. Don't let them get outside of you. Get enough containment to keep him in that pocket so he's not doing that hungle jungle stuff where he's running around just chucking it.
Well, let's go back to that hungle jungle play you're talking about, Pat, where Will Healy He outran 2 or 3 guys. There weren't that many people on the rush, but he must have gone 30 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
That was a 70-yard run. I mean, he went 20
I wish we had an odometer on his shoe to tell how far he ran on that play, and then he gets the plus 23. That's the key play of this drive so far. Now, 3rd and 5. They will go from the shotgun with 2:18 to go. Healy on the rollout. Throws to the sideline. Jones had it and drops it. Alex Jones had it in his hands at the 15 and couldn't hold on. Levi Crabtree and Brandon Fisher on the cover.
Right, they had him kind of boxed in. I thought they were trying to contain him. They didn't do it, and that's what happens. Jones dropped it. Now he's sulking. Get back to the huddle, son. Get another shot at it.
Now, Pat, something I saw on this. Watch Healy. He doesn't throw it quite as hard. He loops it over Miller.
Drops it in there.
Kind of a changeup, and maybe that threw Jones.
And Jones, you know what Jones was trying to do? Don't. You saw that. Jones was trying to
make
run.
the make.
He was trying to turn and run before he caught the football. Gave up the first down right there.
So now a 4th and 5 and another timeout for Boyd Buchanan. That's their second.
And, hey, Willie, 4th and 5, 2 minutes on the clock. This is the football game for Boyd Buchanan. They know it, too.
They've got to have it here. And remember, we're just getting started with our great coverage here on the UPN Network across the state. Coming up next, George Plaster and Whit Taylor will have the call of the 2A final. David Lipscomb, who this Boyd Buchanan team beat earlier in the season,
and they're
31-27. Yeah, David Lipscomb on fire coming through the playoffs. They will take on Mitchell High School from the Memphis area. Mitchell is on a roll as well.
One thing I did before we were going to get into these state championship games, I kind of highlighted a key game, and a key game for CPA was that Ezel Harding game where they were 0-2. Everybody was worried, and what they did is they settled down and they grew as a team. You look over on the other side, Boyd Buchanan, that Ezel Harding game that they lost, they probably learned a lot from it playing against the state champs. Lipscomb, the Boyd Buchanan game was the big game for them and turned that season around.
4,600 here.
My fans.
At Floyd Stadium, watching the biggest play of the game so far. 2:12 to go, 4th and 5. Boyd Buchanan needs a touchdown to tie. Healy, rolling. He's got some room. He's going to run for it. At the 25, did he get it? Let's see where they mark it. He had to get across the 20.
He's got it.
First down, Boyd Buchanan, I believe.
Right there.
Now remember the measurement that we had. They're going to measure this again, Pat.
Well, they moved it back. He was over the line. Now they moved it back to the line. This is going to be close. Break out your credit card again.
Now look at Robert Akins. He does not like that spot. Awful spot, he just said.
Let me tell you right now, Healy reached out with his right arm.
Akins still arguing with that. Now, they missed it by less than an inch
by
on
that
the last
much. You know the old saying?
Yeah. The get smart guy. And he got it this time.
Hey, by the same amount. They lost it by about 2 inches, and they got it by 2 inches right
here's
here.
The run,
Watch
Pat.
Healy reach out. Hooper's got him faced up. That's a good spot.
Boy, great dive.
Hey, that's a great play by Healy. Good play by Hooper to make the tackle in the open field, and a good spot by the official.
He got a great spring on that last one, and he didn't let his knee hit the turf because that's the key.
Put his left arm down, reached out with his right. The ground can't cause a fumble. Who cares if the ball goes?
So a clutch run by Healy, who did run for 10 touchdowns during the year. 1st and 10 at the 20, a minute 45 to go. The option pitch to Nelson, and he's hit behind the line. Travis Sykes with a big play.
I'm going to tell you right now, that right there, did you see how early he pitched? He got hit so many times because everybody did their job. You take a look, Corder's got the quarterback, Sykes got the tailback. Hey, they did their job. They have shut down, they've completely eliminated the option.
Loss of 2 on the play. Sykes read that perfectly. And now the clock's still rolling at a minute 15. Healy now he's going to go up under center. Straight drop, now rolling. Looking towards the end zone. Under pressure, Latimer chasing him. Gets out of trouble. Healy throws into the end zone.
Oh my goodness!
Akins has it in the end zone.
That is why he's Mr. Football. I understand. He is Mr. Football. Fran Tarkenton Jr. right there. What a play. What a game. Hey, all I know is no matter what happens the rest of the weekend, we got the best game.
Well, don't speak too soon. We got a lot of football.
Boy, oh boy.
But
now, hey, don't the extra point.
Drew
He's
Akins,
had trouble.
22 yards, the coach's son. What a play by Healy, and a timeout is called.
You want to know what the timeout is for?
Are they thinking about going for 2?
I would, absolutely. Hey, go for it. You got momentum. Take a shot. This is what it's all about. Hey, And the kicker is very tired right now.
I think that might be it, Pat. They want Healy
to rest
because he is the kicker. Now consider this, he did miss a 21-yard field goal way back in the first half.
And I told you in the first half the Steve Spurrier story, didn't I? It holds true. He's going to kick it, or he's going to throw it.
Healy is 32 for 41
Which isn't
on extra
bad.
points.
That's not bad. But my gut feeling is they kick it.
I remember they had one blocked in the first half.
And he's got a platform in his hand, so right there you see Healy. He's about to set it down, but that is why he's Mr. Football. Hey, this kid is legitimate. He's a good football player. Somebody at the college ranks, whether it be 1AA or 1A or division, somebody's going to get themselves a pretty good quarterback.
CPA 20, Boyd Buchanan 19. They used their final timeout to allow Healy to rest for the extra point.
Don't forget, Scott Greenwood blocked the kick earlier.
He came right up the middle. So watch the middle of your screen here.
They're going to come
for the tie. It's up, and it is good.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. 1 minute to go. Hey, CPA. Don't kid yourself. Coach Pack proved me wrong once when he didn't sit on the ball the first half, and it was for the right reasons. Hopefully, he'll get a chance to prove me wrong again, and he's going to go down and see what he can do. But Coach Akins, great job. You and your staff deserve a ton of credit. Your kids deserve a ton of credit for fighting and coming on back in. Take a look here, Healy. Latimer's got pursuit. Great block by Nelson. I'll tell you right now, if you're one of the linemen or the fullbacks in this offense, you got to be either licking your chops because you get so many ear hole shots, or you got to be petrified because your quarterback's always scrambling. You don't know when he's covered or not covered.
Healy has been picked off. He's fumbled a couple of times. He's had an extra point block, and he stays with it and gets the time.
I'm going to tell you right now, both these teams, both these coaching staffs, the fans, the 4,600 fans, hey, they deserve all the credit. This is impressive. This is what state championships are made of, and I mean, what more can you say? I mean, I can't say much more.
So
they might leave me speechless.
Will Healy showing why he was the Mr. Football candidate. An 8-play, 52-yard drive. They pick up a 4th and 5 on the scramble, and then the 22-yard touchdown pass on 2nd and 12 with 1 minute even to play.
Hey, the old saying, big players make big plays at big times. He just defined it.
So a high pop-up kick. This one is going to go out of bounds, and that's going to give CPA great field position.
Don't kid yourself. That's costly because it's going to bring the ball, all the way out to, is it the 40?
I believe it's the 40 where CPA is going to get it.
Yikes.
So Healy tried to loop it.
No, it's at the 35 they'll get it.
35-yard line with a minute even and 2 timeouts for the Lions.
Hey, don't kid yourself. David Pack. You see, that's probably the same card he had at the press conference on Monday. You saw him writing notes. He was writing his game plan on little manila folders. Him and Coach Wade. I saw them out there jotting down their plays.
Adam E2, 7 of 15 on the game.
Nobody's by the heater anymore. You notice
that?
No,
everybody wants to check out the action here.
Right.
Except for the kicker, John Price. He's keeping that leg warm over there. He may be called upon for a field goal. E2's going to throw it. Looks over the middle.
It's
intercepted. Intercepted. Over the middle, and there's that guy again, Jeremy Davis.
Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, William Nelson, Jeremy Davis, Dan Moore, Will Healy, these are my guys right now. These guys have played great football game for Boyd Buchanan. On the other side, Dan Williams, Corner, Greenwood, Peak. I mean, those guys have made big plays on the other side. I'll tell you, a lot of good football.
Corner was the guy that he was trying to get it to on the tight end. And he tried to get it over Davis and couldn't do it.
Right, they tried to drop it in, and that's a tough pass for E2. My heart bleeds for the kid because he is the epitome of perseverance.
So Boyd Buchanan will have another chance now. No timeouts left, remember that. They'll spread the field. Healy from the 44.
Actually,
whistle before.
I'll tell you what it is. It's a penalty on Boyd Buchanan. They had 12 men in the huddle. That's illegal. You cannot have 12 men in the huddle. Right. You can't have 12 men on the field, but you definitely can't have 12 men in the huddle. That's also a penalty. So that's what it's going to be. They're going to go back 5.
Dead ball foul, illegal substitution on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So remember, the turnovers at one point were 4-1.
Right.
It's now 4-4.
Hey, turnovers are the key. Don't kid yourself. It's whoever holds the football or whoever loses the football, that'll make the difference.
So that'll take it back to just across midfield.
They almost had 12 in the huddle again.
So Will Healy will go to work. 53 seconds. Mobile pocket again. Has time. Looks. Throws. And it is caught. It'll be short of the first down, and it won't stop the clock. The catch is made by Akins.
Remember, they don't have a field goal kicker, really. Haley's done a good job, but he's not what you want as a kicker.
They'll spot it at the 38. It'll be second down, a gain of 12 on the play, and they'll spike the ball. They'll stop the clock with 32 seconds. The key was that play went to the sideline, but he didn't get out of bounds.
Right, and that's what you preach to you guys, get out of bounds. You lose it down because you have to spike it, but still, it's third down. You got 30 seconds. You're going to take 2 shots regardless. Nice play on the sideline, but like you tell you guys, hey, this is crunch time. Get out of bounds, conserve the clock. He can't. He goes down to make the catch. Good job. Hey, Healy has done a good job of moving around, but, you know, talking to Whit Taylor, who's going to be doing the second game at halftime, we both said the same thing. You know, you wish you'd straight drop him a little bit more or semi-roll him a little bit more.
3 wideouts for Healy. Rushes on. He gets outside of the pocket, throws. It's over everybody's head.
Right. You didn't want to get him in a situation like that. And Brandon Fisher does a great job of locking up Alex Jones man-to-man. Good job. Big play. Lock down Jones because you know that's the go-to guy. That's the big play guy. Good job by Brandon.
And Jess Miller had a good rush that time to really force Healy to throw it earlier than he wanted to.
What Coach Pack and Coach Wade are doing up front defensively, now they're forcing him to come back into the middle of the field where hopefully guys like Greenwood and Latimer get some gut pressure.
David Pack wanted to keep Healy in the pocket as much as he could. He did that for about 3 quarters, but Healy, the last couple of drives, has been running all over the place and making things happen. 4th and 5, 4th and 3 make it. Here's the draw to Nelson. Nelson trying to search for the first down. He did not get it.
Nope.
Big tackle by Will Hooper and Travis Sykes.
And CPA is going to take over with 19 seconds, and let's see. Coach Pack, are you going to sit on it or are you going to chuck it down the field? He's going to chuck it down the field. If I'm
going to give it a shot here?
If I'm on the other side, I know Coach Pack is going to try to get something.
Well, remember, he just was intercepted in the last play.
And you know, but right now I don't think the damage would be as devastating as it was with 55 seconds left and Will Healy on the opposing sideline.
And you have to give CPA's defense credit. They had to go right back on the field, and they got a big stop.
Well, you know, the defense is the offense. These guys, especially up front, yes, I'm going to give them more credit.
19 seconds and 2 timeouts for CPA. E2 looking for the quick hitter. Now loops it down for Sykes, and it's out of bounds.
That's no
Not
damage.
a catchable ball there. 13.5 to go.
Well, if you're Coach Akins on the other sideline, you're telling number 6 Alex Jones and number 2 Blake Beckham to get deep. You got deep half. You just don't let whatever you do, don't let anybody get near behind you. You just make sure you drop off to the 30-yard line because I don't think the quarterback can throw it 50 yards. You just make sure the ball's in front of you and you come up and make the tackle if they catch it.
The Buccaneer defense had 4 interception returns for touchdowns. So if they're going to score, you figure that's how it's going to have to happen with no timeouts.
Hey, all I know is whoever's tuned into this game, they got themselves all their money's worth.
I would say so.
Pay that cable bill.
We got more coming up with David Lipscomb against Mitchell.
Hey, that's going to be a
7
good
o'clock
football game too.
It sure will.
I really looking through the matchups. I don't think there's going to be a bad one. You know, Hillsborough, Maryville.
And people might be surprised to know that you get some lopsided games sometimes, but I don't see one here on this docket.
The Fulton game tomorrow, that's going to be a good football game. Fulton Ridgeway, 12 o'clock. Hey,
Pat and I will have that game for you. Then George Plaster, Whit Taylor, who are doing the nightcap tonight, will come back and give you a game at 3:30 between 2 undefeated teams, Maryville and Hillsborough, and then the all-Middle Tennessee final at 7 o'clock, Murfreesboro from right here in town. The Riverdale Warriors against the Brentwood Bruins.
That's going to be a fun game too.
Adam E2.
I don't know if it's going to be as good as this one.
Oh yeah, this will be tough to top.
This is going to be a tough one
to top.
Because hey, guess what? We're about 13 seconds from an extra period. How do you like them apples?
Free football, and if it does happen, 4 plays from the 10.
What do you mean free football? We're not going to charge extra?
No.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that, Tom.
Gee.
Empty backfield. David Pack making his way off the field. 1 timeout left for CPA. E2 rolls and looks.
Backside,
Sykes,
Jones.
jump ball with Jones. It's tipped and incomplete.
Let me tell you right now, if I'm Coach Akins, I'm going to grab Mr. Jones. I'm going to tell him, look, I just told you, don't let anybody get behind you, and then you let Sykes get behind you. He's a basketball player. I know you think you can jump out of the gym. Keep him in front. Let him catch it. Tackle him there.
We'll take you 2 weeks.
Yeah,
2 weeks back. Sykes made a play in the end zone against Ezo Harding. It was exactly like that. A jump ball tipped up into the air and then caught.
I'm going to tell you right now, don't go there. Keep him in front of you. Make the tackle. Would have been 5.6 seconds. By the time everybody got up there, the game would have been over.
It's a lot to ask for now for CPA. You wonder if they'll just kneel down. And they will.
Exactly what they do. Good call.
And that will do it for regulation.
Hey, it's party time. Overtime, that's what it's called. I forgot.
Each team will get it 4 plays from the 10.
Wow. Hey, everybody needs to stand up and have a good time in this place.
Now, while we're talking about this, Pat, think back to last week. 3A semifinal, Trousdale County against Knoxville Fulton.
Right.
They went to overtime, and it was...
No. Fulton went for 2.
They sure did. Trousdale County ties the game late. Then they go into overtime. Trousdale County scores, kicks the extra point. Fulton then comes back and scores and goes for 2.
Right.
For all the marbles. You talk about
you know what, though? That's
putting it on the line.
Let me tell you, that's the old arena football overtime. That's how arena football is. You score, one team scores, the other team gets a possession. But, hey, they either go for 1 and go sudden death or they score, so they go to score.
20-20 is our score at the end of regulation. Keep it right here, folks.
You're a mother, a daughter, a sister, a wife. You'd rather...
State championship, the Blue Cross Bowl, all the marbles on the line. Each team will get the ball. 4 plays from the 10-yard line. So it's not quite like college, Pat, where you get it at the 25. You go from the 10.
If you're Coach Pat, right now you're probably telling your guys, look, we've been here before. We've done this dance. Let's do what we can do. Everybody put us away for dead at 0-3. Only we believe, and that's what his motivation has got to be. If you're on the other side, you're Coach Akins, you said, hey, we stumbled. We may have cost ourselves. We may have stubbed our toe, like when you get out of bed and you kick the bed by accident, and that hurts real bad. We stumbled. We gathered ourselves. We fought, and now we're in a position 0-0. Let's go win a championship. So both teams deserve a lot of credit. There is no loser in this game, although one of these teams is going to be talking about their ring, and the other team is going to be talking about the opportunity they had.
Scott Greenwood and Will Healy are out for the coin toss. They're being told the rules. One other rule of note, if you intercept a pass or if you block a kick, you cannot run it back all the way the other way. The play is dead as soon as the play is made by the defense.
Well, I'll tell you, this is what it's all. Now, they both go from the same end zone, too,
yes,
which is important to note.
And the wind really is not much of a factor. The flags are
at all.
completely down, so it doesn't really matter what end they go on. Most of the scoring has taken place on one side of the field.
Right. And they deferred again. Boyd Buchanan started the game deferring. They won the toss again, and this time they're going to defer, which is going to give the choice. It really doesn't matter.
When would you want the ball, Pat?
I would want the ball second. I would want my defense to go out first, shut them down, and then all I know is I need a score and I win.
Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got here. We know what side they're going to line up. CPA will get the ball first.
Right. And they're going to go from our left to right. Hey, and I'm going to tell you, that guy Greenwood right there, he's a tough son of a gun. There's so many good football players. I'm probably not mentioning enough of them. I've seen so many good football players tonight, and this is what it's all about. This is a state championship at its best.
So the Lions take over, 1st and 10 at the 10. They led it 17-0. Boyd Buchanan scored, got an extra point block. It was 17-6 at the half. CPA, after a fumble on the first play from scrimmage by Boyd Buchanan, cashed in for another field goal. It stayed 20-6 for a while. Boyd Buchanan scored 2 touchdowns, 1 in the 3rd quarter, 1 in the 4th quarter, and here we are in overtime. Adam Etu is the quarterback. Chris Peak is the setback with Will Hooper, the fullback.
There are a bunch of people in that box.
Right up the middle.
Make it easy.
To the 5. He's heading for the end zone. CPA draws first blood.
Auntie Lena, bar the door. There you go.
They kept it simple, Pat.
Hey, that's what, and they went back to the plays they used real early. Hooper kicking out and quarter blocking down. Right here, take a look. Here's, corner with a great block on the linebacker, and Hooper kicks out the defensive end, outside linebacker, and they go in. First blood is drawn. Now, kicking. I think CPA
go
has
for one.
A bit of advantage here with CPA's kicking game.
The kick is up, and it is no good. He hooked it.
Bite your tongue.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
So Price misses to the left. Alex Jones had the pressure on. And so now, Boyd Buchanan, if they can score and kick the extra point, will win.
Alex Jones had the pressure on. Talked about 6 blocks.
He blocked 6 kicks. He came from the outside.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, kickers are freaky people now. They can get in their
get in your head a little bit.
Absolutely. You know, he's got 6 blocks. You got to be careful.
Chris Peak now 24 carries, 114 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Will Healy's done a lot of scrambling right now. I don't know if I would let Will Healy chuck it around and run around like he's been.
Healy, the play fake, rolling, looking to the end zone, throws into the corner, way over everybody's head.
Nice job by the defense of CPA. Everybody stays in their area, stays in their zone, sits down, Williams and Peak, and they roll with the motion. If you take a look, Healy rolls to his left, and that's how he's caught some of them off balance by guys scrambling the other way.
The Buccaneers must score a touchdown to stay in it.
I might come back to the running game here with William Nelson.
You notice all night long, Pat, we have not had the urge to call William Nelson Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson.
We are in Middle Tennessee here. You know.
Hey, I haven't called Skip Baldwin Alec Baldwin either.
Hey, that's a good job by you. We're just getting started. Let's not jinx ourselves.
Okay.
Second down and 10. Healy on the rollout, looking for Jones. He's hit hard.
He got away. Oh my goodness.
Miller had him in the clutches.
Latimer's got him.
Throws. It's caught. Back to the line of scrimmage, pretty much. Akins has it right at the 10.
They gained a half a yard.
All that for about a half a yard gain.
He ran 60 yards, broke 2 tackles, and gained a half a yard.
How many miles has Will Healy run tonight?
I'll tell you right now, he's done my run for tomorrow. Right, he rolls to the left.
Now Miller has him right here.
Yeah, Miller has him dead to rights, but you can't go high on this kid's a strong guy. He's one of those kids. I bet you he's been in the weight room a whole bunch. But I hate to second guess Coach Akins because he's done a great job. Right now, I don't know if I would have thrown 4 downs. I might have run William Nelson up the gut a couple of times because that's where they had a little bit of success.
2 plays to get this. Tension all over the crowd of 4,600. The Buccaneers must have a touchdown. 3rd down. Healy has time. Looking, dancing.
Another good pick.
Balls to the right. Running out of room. Throws.
He just chucked it up there.
Ball tipped and incomplete.
Hey,
Hedden went up for it and batted it down. And it'll be 4th down.
Great job again by the CPA secondary. Peak, Fisher, Crabtree, Dan Williams, those guys do a great job. Hey, they don't lose their area. They hold on to the area. And right now, timeout is going to be taken by Boyd Buchanan. They're going to talk it over and try to get what they can.
When Levi Crabtree went up and almost had that thing. In fact, Ryan Hedden became the defensive back and sort of broke that pass up.
You take a look, there's no one by the heater anymore, other than our man Greg. I see you, Greg. I see you sucking up that heat. Can't hide on me.
He wants to get a good vantage point for this 4th down.
Hey, I don't blame him. I'd be right by the heater, too. But
he's got to do a second game, Pat. Hey, we're done after this one. Greg's he's got to fuel up for the second game.
None of these guys. I mean, this is it. Either you're going to see CPA come sprinting on the field or you're going to see Boyd Buchanan line up for an extra point. It's one or the other right now.
So, Pat, you figure this has got to be a throw. Alex Jones is the guy they'd like to go to. Ryan Hedden had 6 touchdowns. Drew Akins had the tying touchdown. So they have a lot of different guys that they can go to in this situation.
You know what they say? Somebody makes a big play at a big time. There's nothing bigger than this in the state championship for these kids right here. My Uncle Ray used to tell me, hey, be the one. Somebody be the one.
I'd be surprised if you saw anything different than what we've seen before. But now look at this formation. The Boyd Buchanan is lining up it. 4 wide receivers to the left in the diamond. Throws to the end zone.
Nope.
It is incomplete.
By number
flag on the play.
Oh my goodness!
Nelson was the intended receiver, and the flag was thrown. What do we got?
You know what? It's really, I hate to say this, it's not a bad call because it looked like number 12 had his hand on his back, and that was
interference is called.
Right, that was Sykes. It looks like Travis Sykes has his left hand on his back when he goes to swat it away with his right. I don't know. I want to see the replay. Our boys in the truck, you've done a great job so far. Give us a replay.
Pass interference.
Little kickback.
Automatic first down.
4 more plays.
So Todd Dunaway makes a play.
Wow.
Automatic first down, and the ball at the 5-yard line.
Wow.
And that's the most important part. It's not the yards, but it's the first down.
William Nelson's getting the football here. No, if he doesn't get the football, I'd be very disappointed.
So now CPA has to bear down. They have to look at the run as well as the pass here.
It's first down at the 5-yard line.
Okay.
Good.
Nelson is the deep back.
He
gets it. Right up the middle. And he's hit.
Oh, what a
big defensive play. Hey, Greenwood.
That's my guy. You know, boy, I got to take that kid with me. Somebody's going to get lucky. I'm telling you right now, a small Division I AA school is going to get lucky and find themselves a real good football player in Scott Greenwood.
Nelson falls forward and gets 2 yards, so now it's 2nd and goal from the 3.
And you know what CPA is doing right now? I know they're trading off big men. They're trying to keep their big men fresh.
3 wide receivers. Spread formation here for Boyd Buchanan. Again to Nelson, up the middle, and he won't get in. Now, Pat, let's go back to the interference call because this has given Boyd Buchanan new life.
4 more downs, obviously. You look here, I can't tell, but it looks like Sykes puts his left hand. Oh, no, I don't know about that. That's very, you know, that's a tough one. William Nelson thinks it's interference.
I didn't see much contact there, Pat.
No, I didn't either. I thought he had his left hand on and swatted with his right. It didn't look like there was enough to make a difference.
3rd and goal from the 2 now.
Don't be surprised. Maybe either Nelson again or a half roll or a quarterback draw.
Healy has thrown for 2 touchdowns tonight. He's got 22 touchdown passes. He's run for 10 on the season. Man in motion.
Trips.
Option. The pitch. Heading. Take him down. Hanging on his Crabtree. It'll be a 4th down for all the Marbles for a 2nd time.
Again. 4th down. This is it.
Levi Crabtree, who almost ended the game on the 3rd down of overtime where he had 2 hands on an interception, strings it out here.
I want to take a look right here. They haven't had much success with this option. He comes down the line. Great job. I'm going to go back again. These kids know what they were supposed to do, and they've eliminated the option. Good job. Crabtree holds on. Quarter holds on to his man, the quarterback. Phenomenal football right here.
Crabtree comes out of that ball very late in that play while he was hanging on the jersey. Might have lost the handle.
I think they might have called his procedure stopped.
Yes, forward progress was stopped. So here we go, 4th down and 8. 4th and goal. Got to have a touchdown to stay in it. Healy, rolling. Buying time. Once again, it's a scramble.
Latimer, no. Greenwood.
He retreats all the way to 35. He's got to go to the end zone. Throws it. It's in. Travis Sykes has it. And it's over. CPA is state champions.
Wow.
What a wild finish here in Murfreesboro.
Hey, Sykes, I'm telling you right now, that is a football game. Let's see you top that one, boys. That's a good one. That's a real good football game. And Coach Pack and Coach Akins and your staffs, wow.
Boy, that was something else. CPA runs 1 play in overtime on offense and scores, and the 10-yard run from Chris Peak.
Right.
And Boyd Buchanan ends up with 8 plays, or really 7 plays because one was the 4th down that the penalty was called. So they had 2 sets of downs from the 10 and couldn't quite get it.
What you know, it's a football game. This is what it is.
Here's the reaction from the CPA sideline. You think they're relieved?
Hey, two state championships in the last 3 years, and here's Coach Akins. Great run. Deserve a lot of credit. You have a great football team. You know, that's a tough one.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that's you know, it's thrill of victory, the agony of defeat for the, you know.
Well, Phil Arledge passing away yesterday, the guy that coined that phrase. What? CPA 26, Boyd Buchanan 20, a final in overtime.
What a game. I mean, what a great football game. And, you know, Coach Pack, week 3 was incredible. When you heard his conviction to his players, you know, Coach Akins has done a great job. But I'll tell you right now, no one on this football field has any reason to hang their head. Of course, the kids from Boyd Buchanan are going to go back to Chattanooga, and you know they'll be sad. And the pain will get over with down the road. Believe me, I've been there twice and felt it twice. So.
Boy, that is what we call high drama. Coming up next, the drama continues. David Lipscomb, the Mustangs, from right here in Nashville, taking on the Mitchell Tigers from the city of Memphis. That'll be our end-game break for all of our stations watching across the state. We'll be back with you for the Lipscomb Tigers game. The final score, CPA, your state champion in the 1A Blue Cross Bowl, 26-20 over Boyd Buchanan. For Pat Sperduto, I'm Willie Donick saying good night. George Plaster and Whip Taylor coming up next.
Do you want your smile to look like $1 million? Then visit Dr.
Cast in Tennessee by the Associated Press for the second year in a row.
Middle Tennessee is well represented in the high school football finals. 2 of our local teams with their shot at glory tonight. Let's begin with the Class 2A title game between Lipscomb and Memphis Mitchell. For that, we bring in Fox 17's Mark Pellerito from Floyd Stadium in Murfreesboro. Mark, take it away.
Thank you very much, Paul. It was an exciting night out here. Incredible action in the first game and just a blowout in the second game. The Lipscomb Mustangs hadn't won a state championship in 8 years, but it all changed tonight. Let's go right to the highlights. The Mustangs on a mammoth drive in the first quarter, capped off by Cutler Robertson's 6-yard touchdown. It was a 72-yard drive. It took 8 minutes. PAT failed. It was 6-zip. After a blocked punt, Robertson with an 18-yard touchdown, his second of the day, also added a 2-point conversion. It was 14-0. He is your offensive MVP. Later in the second, 5 minutes to go, the errant pass, that's easy.